Okay, can you hear me now? I'm so bad at setting up streams, oh my god. Oh, I've got two chats overlays, that's why I'm getting confused. Yeah, let's put you here. You can hear me, Sabrina? I think I clicked the right thing this time. Oh, good. Oh, thank god. I had absolutely no idea what was going wrong. I was just an idiot. I just didn't click the icon with the... Yeah, I was just an idiot. Anyway, don't mind me. Hello everyone. Thank you for being here. Thank you for bearing with me while... Oh wow, there's lots of you. Hello. Oh, Lisa, hello. Yeah, Burbcam. Midtown Clown. Good username, like it. I don't know how many burbs there will be because it is warm and sort of sunny, so they don't tend to come to the feeder as much, but hopefully there'll be a few. We will see. Maybe we'll catch the jay, because the jay and the magpies know that I'm not at my desk during weekends usually, so they are more comfortable landing on the feeder and eating all the feed in a way they are not usually comfortable with if I'm sitting at my desk. So we might get a sneak peek of them aggressively landing on the feeder and then realising I'm here and then aggressively flying off again. So we'll see. Hopefully. It's always quite funny. I also have a donut and a tea that my lovely partner went to get for me. I've also stolen his wet palette here, because he's nice like that. Oh, the Nian, am I pronouncing this right? Hello from France, bonjour. Je savais pas que j'avais des gens qui me regardaient en France aussi, trop bien. Hi Desiree. Yeah, I know, I'm sorry, it's a bit early for other people. I think I'm going live now because the brushes, so these guys are launching at 3 p.m. because that's basically when most of my audience on YouTube is live. So the company who's launching the brushes asked me what my metrics were, and I told them that most of my audience, according to my YouTube analytics, seem to be live or on YouTube at around 3 to 6 p.m. most days, UK time. So that's why I'm here now. I will try and find other times to do streams in the future because I know it's not convenient for everyone all the time. I'm never going to be able to be convenient for everyone, but I'll do my best to try and vary times so people can join if they can. Oh, Link, L-I-N-C? I don't know, I'm going to call you Link. You're French too? That's so cool. Desiree. Yeah, I forget the world is on a completely different timeline sometimes too. Thanks Sabrina, I really like this sketch. I actually really like when my sketches are inked. I always end up doing the outline and thinking that the pictures would look quite fun as colouring books. I feel like a dark surrealist colouring book could be cool. I don't know. I feel like people are more into colouring books nowadays than they used to be. Oh, by the way, for any of you who were there for the first stream, I tried, you can actually see the corner there, I tried to set up my camera not on my desk, so hopefully when I'm touching my desk, this webcam might move. This that's filming the drawing shouldn't move. Yeah, Style XD, is that an emoji at the end of your name? I would love some donuts. These are good donuts. This is a cinnamon roll donut, sourdough donut, and honestly, it's my lunch basically, which isn't great, but I'll have something a bit more filling at some point, but it's good for that. Galame, is that your username? I'm sorry if I mispronounce your usernames, guys. I am not good at guessing pronunciations on things. Thank you. I'm really happy with the brushes. I feel like I've been banging on about them quite a lot, and I feel incredibly bad about self-promotion most of the time. I feel like I only feel comfortable mentioning something once, and then I feel bad when I go on about them a bit. But my boyfriend is very right that, you know, this is my job, so it's important for me to promote stuff like that. But I've had such a nice reception to them, so thank you. It's been very encouraging. By the way, if I speak too low, do let me know, because the mic is a bit far away from me, so I don't know exactly how well it picks up how loud I talk, and sometimes if I get shy, my volume goes down, so do let me know. Did I go to art school, Pluto? I did not. The closest I've come to art school was when I was a teenager, when you're, I don't know what the equivalents in different countries are again, but between 16 and 18, those years, I specialised. So in France you study all subjects up until your baccalaureate, but you can ask for a few more hours in a specific topic, and I did art, but we didn't learn any art like technique. We literally mostly just were taught about art history, and then I did a foundation year at Central St Martin's in the UK, but that was when my aim was to become a prosthetic makeup artist. So I didn't study art when I was in that foundation year. I studied performance design, and we didn't learn anything. Like, you were left to your own devices most of that foundation year, so I didn't really learn anything. So no, not technically. I've not been to art school. Oh, there's a bag in here. Actually, can leave in there. Lisa, oh, are you hoping to get a set? It'd be nice. If you guys buy one when they go live, let me know, and I can shout you out on the screen. No, that's not the right sentence. I can give you a shout out on the stream. That's better. Hello, Bell Juice. I like that, but I can't pronounce it. Hello from London to Nevada. Is that a compliment? Jasper does stuff, or is that just like you saying that I'm incredibly boring? Because that's okay too. Anna, yeah, I think a colouring book could be really cool too. I would have to sort of do a bunch of inks of, I think I could probably do quite a few outlines of some of my drawings. I've been thinking about it. I'd quite like it to be like a watercolouring book, like a thing that you can actually use proper paints on, not just pencils, you know. How long will the brushes be available, Sabrina? I'm finding up until the point where they sell out. I don't think there's a time limit on them. And then even if they sell out, I think they might do another run if they do well. If not, then they'll be done once they sell out once, I believe. So yeah, you can definitely get them for Inktober if there's still some at that point. Hi Moody. Hi Lovis. Hi. Oh my god, they're from everywhere. Daira Castro. Hello from Brazil. Wow, that's super cool. What time is it in Brazil? I'm not good at time differences. Oh, there's a bunch of you from Brazil. That's super cool. Hey Lucille. Oh, thank you, Lisa. You guys have no idea how absolutely incredible it is. How lovely everyone has been about those brushes. It's it just, I don't know. It's very nerve-wracking to launch stuff, especially when I'm not in full control of it, you know? Like, I'm not the one making the brushes. I chose most of the design, obviously, but I didn't have control over the manufacturing process or the printing process and stuff. So it's always very nerve-wracking to get stuff done like that in collaboration with other companies. And also, again, I'm not very good at self-promotion, so I do get a bit stressed about what am I doing? Yes, I'm gonna start laying out my palette. I do get a bit stressed about promoting stuff because I'm always worried that there's always like some people get a bit angry when people promote themselves, but eat. I have a really, really nice audience. Did you know? Sorry, I'm a bit ill by the way, so I might be sniffling sometimes. It's not COVID, but just one of those annoying lingering colds. I have a set of like soft body muted colour acrylics, and I've been using them more than my normal colour acrylics to paint stuff. I like them a lot, and I'm probably going to be using them to paint this piece. Okay, that's super sweet. Thank you. I haven't uploaded in so long. It's ridiculous. YouTube videos take me so long. Like the video I uploaded yesterday took me like a solid week to edit. It's not even filming it, just editing it. I don't find editing very stimulating. I like the beginnings of the editing process of a video, but there's a point where all I'm doing is just rewatching myself talking over and over again, and I become so hypercritical of myself that it makes editing a bit stressful. So thank you. It's really encouraging and lovely and reassuring to hear when you guys are happy when I upload. Bruh, thank you. Welcome from London to India. That's cool. Wow, you guys are from everywhere. That's really cool. Sophia, in Brazil. Am I remembering the comment right? 11 AM in Brazil. Okay, that's alright actually. It's quite, I'm assuming that's an alright time slot for a stream. Sharon, West Virginia. Awesome. You like the subject matter that I paint. Thank you. I would definitely want to make a book of my artwork. I've been talking about having a sketchbook out for a while. I just haven't really come around to actually taking the time to edit it, just because I always have something and so much work going on, like between keeping up with Patreon and YouTube videos, and like 4 weeks in a month isn't enough, honestly. But yes, I very, very much want to do a book of my sketches. I think I'm at that point where I have enough of them now. Get that in the wet palette. I don't want to open the window to my studio because it's going to be noisy on the mic. But oh my god, I'm getting hot. English heat is so weird. It's so stuffy. Hello Laura. Thanks for joining. Oh, Sophia. Yeah, for me too. It's really nice. I always find that I stress about streams beforehand. But then during the streams I really enjoy sort of just chatting along. So I'm going to paint in this stream, which is something I've only done once live a long time ago. So I can't guarantee I'm going to be any good at focusing on chat as well as painting. But we'll try. So I do apologise if I miss any of your questions, because I'll do my best to keep an eye on them, but can't guarantee. I need to go read Craftamo's. I need to take better care of my brushes. Honestly, I don't take good care of the brushes. I don't take bad care of my brushes either. All my brushes have lasted me for a number of years, but I need to, like, you know, I can't really call myself a professional artist if I don't even know how to take proper care of my own brushes. So bad. Oh, hello, hey, Heather. I'm glad you made it too. Hi, Ravina. I missed you guys too. It's always just, actually, what am I doing? Take them out. And yes, if you're wondering, I put them back in the box specifically to take them out on stream again. So they do get like little plastic protectors around them on the tips, and they don't come like just straight like this out of the package. But I thought it'd be cool if I took them out of the box like that, you know, because show the whole thing and all. Also, the brushes I've been using for my paintings so far this year have been the samples. So they sent me, early on when I decided on the length and the design and everything, they sent me these early samples. And I was considering having the round brushes be those tanned bristles, but then I asked them if I could possibly have them black too, and they said yes. And I'm really glad I did that because they look quite nice all in black like this. But this is the same brushes, just different colours on the tip. And I've been using them almost for every painting I've done so far this year because they're very good, and I'm really glad I can be like fully behind this product. It's very nice. So I will use these guys though. Ooh, I am getting quite hot. Yeah, apple juice. I'm gonna call it apple juice because I don't know how to pronounce your name. Sorry. Yeah, I need to do that too. It's completely irresponsible of me not to. I've been really fortunate because of my channel that I haven't had to buy brushes in a number of years. Because when I did the Craftamo gouache tutorials, they sent me brushes to use in the tutorials, and a good bunch of them too. So I've used those so far, and then I'm receiving these, so I'm probably never not gonna have to buy new brushes for a while. So thankfully I'm not spending money on brushes I don't take good care of. But that's not an excuse. I should take better care of my brushes, especially these. I want these to last me as long as possible, so I should be more careful with them. Thank you, Moody. I'm so glad you think so. I was worried about the wow factor on the brush box because I chose a vertical design for the image, whereas I was also considering like a horizontal design that would flow better with the format of the box. But I think it actually worked out all right. I like how it wraps around the box like that. I think it's quite cool, and I'm genuinely quite happy with how it turned out. But it was nerve-wracking for a while, and I really didn't know if people were going to like it, and people really enjoyed it, and I'm really thankful for that. Hello, Deborah. Are you from the French-speaking bit of Belgium? How does the tip on the round brushes stay pointy? You know what? I haven't had... So again, these are the... I don't know if my phone will pick that up properly, but these are the brushes I've had since April, I think. And the tip is, like, you just have to make sure that you clean them gently. And you don't... Like, this one is a bit bent because I stored it in a pouch that was a bit too small for it when I went outside to paint one day. But other than that, I haven't had any issues. I just make sure that I so I'll show you actually, when they're wet and I dry them, I sort of twist them like this. I don't know if you can see proper, but I twist them so that it maintains the point instead of like doing that too much. I'll do that a little bit, but then I'll always finish with the drying off of my brush with a twisting motion so that it sort of maintains that nice little point. And honestly, I did not expect the point to stay as long as it has, because in my experience, points on brushes are not necessarily that long lasting. But they've done really well, which is part of why I was impressed with them and why I kept them in the kit, because I thought they did really well with that point. So yeah, that's how I keep it nice and pointy. Niyasuka. Lisa, thank you. Me too. I think it looks quite sleek. I like the matte also on it, on the brush handles. The red isn't matte, but I like the matte on these, on the main handle. What other colour do I want? A bit of white. Jasper. New England. Ooh. Oh, 26. Oh, 26. 40s. Today in the 40s, as in... I'm so confused by Fahrenheit. Wait. Are you saying it went from 26 degrees Celsius to 5 degrees Celsius? That would give me whiplash. Jeez. Just imagine, what I keep next to me is a Stay Wet palette. So it's my boyfriend's, actually. Because I usually paint on pieces of tile, ceramic tile. But actually my boyfriend got himself this Everlasting Wet palette, it's called. And I borrowed it once before and it was really good. Because I use my acrylics in washes, I don't need big blobs of paint on my palette, and I don't use it super quickly, and so my paint would dry up really fast. And the palette, because it's got like a sponge inside of it, I don't know if you can see here, so this sponge is wet, it's saturated with water, and then you put some parchment paper over the top, which is the white paper you see here, and then the water sort of seeps through the parchment, but the parchment prevents the paints from seeping into the sponge. But it lets enough moisture go through the paper that it lets your paint not dry out too fast. And then if I need to take like a long break and I still have something on my palette, I can put it in the fridge, and usually it'll keep your paints fresh for a bit longer if you put them in the fridge. So it's a Stay Wet palette. Oh, Flemish speaking, Deborah. I don't speak Flemish. I do speak French. Studio NT. You're in a forest in Sweden. That sounds so nice. Oh, I want to be in a forest. Hello, me H. DC Doc, hello also. Good luck studying. What's the inspiration behind this painting, Renee Matt? This one? I don't think I've got a satisfying answer to that question. I get that question a whole bunch. Like, people always wonder what's inspired my paintings, and I think there's nothing like very specific that I could point you to. I like things that grow out of people's heads. It seems to be a theme I'm gravitating towards at the moment, and I wanted her fingers to be scissors. There's something a bit about, like, a lot of my pieces are about communication, and sort of I find communication to be one of the biggest challenges between humans, and I find trying to represent the different sort of challenges that it presents in my work quite interesting. So I think it's probably linked to that. I've also, so I have some spikes coming out of her face, and I like, in this particular image, I like the idea that on the one hand, the brambles that are coming out of her mouth are piercing for her cheeks, so they are painful, but what she's cutting off is not going to stop that. In fact, what she's cutting off is going to stop the parts that are growing flowers. And on the one hand, it could look like she's trying to cut off something that's hurting her, but the result of her cutting it off would not stop the hurt, it would just kill the flowers. So that's sort of what I like about this imagery, but I don't know what I was inspired by, because it comes from, I was literally on my way to see a friend, and I drew this tiny little piece in my mini sketchbook, and I don't know where it came from, sorry. Hi Fiona! Bolivar, why smoking cigarettes? Smoking cigarettes? Do you mean the gesture that she's making? It's not meant to be smoking, I think. I'm going to try and paint her fingers as if they're blades like scissors. Don't know if it's gonna work out, but we'll try. Starlex D, yeah, it's actually no, it feels hot inside the flap. It's actually 16 degrees outside today, but it was 30 degrees a couple of days ago here also. Sabrina, there was a bird. Good. I'm glad they're landing. I love them. Hi Scribbles. Jasper, good. I've never had a hamster in my audience, and really, if I'm honest with myself, I cater mainly to hamsters. So this is a life goal achieved, and I appreciate that. Thank you. 37, Marta. Oh, that's too hot. That's too hot. Ethan, did you just get a brush set? Are you serious? For real? Oh my god, it's 3 o'clock. They're live. Wait. Is my page wrong? No, they have sold. Oh, you've just made my day, Ethan. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, Studio NT. I think I need to get myself a wet palette. Most definitely. Actually, I'm not going to start with this. I'm going to start with this large brush here and mix my... I'm not going to worry too much about colour scheme for this one. Last time I did a stream, I was planning on drawing and didn't actually end up drawing because I got so focused on the chat. So I'm going to try and multitask. Let's see how this goes. By the way, let me know if you can see. Can I light this lamp? And will it help? Is that better? I don't know. Niyasuka. Well, yes, I think they will be restocked if they sell out. But they'd have to sell out first. And I don't know if that's an achievable goal. But I will, I will keep my hopes up. And it'd be pretty cool if they sold out. But it's also just fine if they don't. And if people are just happy with what they got. If even just a few people are happy that they got them, I will be over the moon. They don't ship to Germany. They should do. I don't know. They should do. I thought they shipped internationally, but they are UK based, but I believe they ship to the US, and it would be really weird if they didn't ship to Germany. I don't know. Sorry, I can't really help you, unfortunately, because I'm not I don't have control over the website. But I would get in touch with them if having issues, because I'm pretty sure that they should ship to Germany. Deborah. Yeah, I mean, it's always cool to know another language, honestly. Even if the language is not widely used, I think it really helps development. I don't know, I think it makes people find it a bit easier to learn languages and stuff, to have developed the ability to do so at a young age. So it's cool regardless, I think. How my daily doodles doing, Lovis? Sorry. Yeah. I'm doing alright. Not done many last week because I was editing all week, but there's been a few. I usually take weekends off now. I used to try and draw every single day, but I have sort of decided that weekends I'm not going to try and stress myself out with daily doodles too much, because I don't know, sort of talk the fun out of them, made them feel a bit more like work, and it wasn't that fun. Hi Nadia, I'm very well, thank you. How are you? I love seeing you guys' recurring names in streams and stuff. It's really lovely to know that you guys enjoy enjoy my content enough to like come back and say hi again. It really means a lot. This is intensely difficult to multitask. Oh, Elia, nice. You figured it out. I'm glad. Sorry if it was a hassle to try and figure out if they ship to Germany. The thing is that, like, there would have been a chance that they didn't. It would have been really weird if they didn't. But with Brexit and stuff, you never know. Customs are really weird nowadays. Unfortunately, I don't know the details of whether they do ship, but it would have been weird if they didn't ship to Germany. Hello from Gris, Desp. Hi, Desp. Oh, that's awesome. I'm glad that you're using colours. Do you paint then, or do you use pencils? Or whatever medium you want. I know colours really stressed me out for a long time. I used to prefer drawing in graphite for the longest time when I was a kid. And then my stepmother is a really good watercolour painter. And I got some really nice advice from her. And she gave me a lot of like encouragement. And so my very first paints were watercolours. And it's thanks to my stepmother that I started painting with colours. But I completely know what you mean. I find colours were quite intimidating for a long time. I still find them intimidating, to be honest. I do need to brush up on my colour theory a little bit more. But hi, Nadia. Apple juice, thank you. Ah, you guys are making my heart sore. Like, you cannot imagine when, like, the stress I had when I agreed to do this project. And part of me was like, no one's ever gonna buy any. This is like, because the first artist that the company collaborated with did really, really well. And I was comparing myself quite dramatically to them. And I was like, I don't know why they contacted me. There's literally no chance that I'll do anywhere near as well as that person did. And I think they have me all badly figured out. But then I also had to trust that the company knows what they're doing, you know. Like, I don't think they would have looked at my stuff and contacted me if they didn't think there was a chance that it would be a good collaboration. They're really nice too. Like, the contact I have at the brush company is super nice. It's been a really, like, a genuine pleasure to exchange info and work on this project with them. But yeah, having you guys buy some is, I don't know, it's really heartwarming, and I'm very, very grateful. Oh, hi Craftamo. I didn't realise that you guys would drop by. Makes sense, but that's cool. But yes, guys, if you have any questions, apparently Craftamo seems to be in the chat, so if you have trouble like shipping stuff to where you are, do drop them a message, because in my experience they're very nice and they'll definitely help you out if you need them to. Scribbles. Oh gosh, good luck to you. I keep meaning to do that in my own stuff. Organize all my folders and all that. I finally bought, like, the reason I was able to upload a new YouTube video was because I finally got the storage on my computer sorted out, because my computer was in the red storage wise pretty much constantly for the past like 6 months or so. And so I couldn't store any new footage because, oh my god, does footage take up a lot of space on a computer. And it was very frustrating, and it meant that I got very stressed when I was filming videos, because I wouldn't be able to, like, I constantly stressed about whether I was filming for too long or taking up too much space on my SD card, because because I knew I couldn't ultimately transfer it to my computer. And so I constantly worried about being efficient with what I film and what I didn't, which doesn't work well if you're in the flow of painting, because you need a bit of leeway, you need a little bit of being able to forget the camera's there. And I was not able to do that, which made filming quite stressful. But I finally got a 10 terabyte external hard drive on which to transfer all of my footage, which was tremendous. It means that I now have enough space. But it did mean that I had to organise all my footage for a while, and my oh my, was that not fun. Turns out, like, how many years I've been on YouTube now? 2016, so 6 years. 6 years of footage is quite a lot. Oh yeah, Craftamo mentioning in the chat, by the way, guys, if you tried to purchase and they would ship to your country, they fixed the error, so you should now be able to ship them to where you are, because they ship worldwide. So don't hesitate to have a look again if you had any trouble. So I'm using the biggest brush in the set, by the way, here. This is the 8 round, and I usually use my brushes in a similar order every time. So I have a sort of, I suppose, a technique and a routine in the way I start paintings now. I usually start the outline, which I do with either one of two things. So I either do it with a liner brush, which the tiny one in my set is perfect for, which is what I inked this with, or I'll use like a dip pen. It will depend on what I want to paint with. So sometimes I'll use ink to make my outline, and sometimes I'll use paint. It's a bit mood based, but that brush is really good for lining. I think it looks fab on this piece, so I'm really glad it was in there. And so after that, I usually go in with really light washes. In this case, I'm going for my sort of comfort zone colour scheme for skin tones, because having to focus on the chat and being live and painting is a bit much for me to also have to come up with like an alternative colour scheme for painting. So I'm going to go with my comfort zone and try to paint this in the most comfortable way for me, so that I can focus on multiple things at once. And so I usually go in with light washes of bluish shadows with the biggest brush I have in my set, which is the 8 round once again. And because it's so thin, it's very calligraphic. No, I'm not pronouncing that well, am I? Calligraphic? Maybe. I'm not even sure that's a word, but you know what I mean. And I can get really nice tapered lines and organic looking shadows with it. And I can get quite precise. Oh, why is the stream not? Oh my god! Why did it not update? I think I missed a bunch of messages, sorry. For some reason my chat wasn't updating. Is it updating on here better? Why is it updating? Oh. Why is it cut off? Okay. Which paint do I use for the lining of my drawing, Deborah? In this case, so I've got a mix pre-made, which I've put somewhere. So the hair in this drawing is lined with black Liquitex ink, which is Liquitex professional acrylic ink. And the mix I use for the face and the hands and everything else is a mixture of 2 other Liquitex inks, the Naphthol Crimson and the Transparent Raw Umber. So that's what I usually use for most of the lining on my drawings. I like to have a sort of brownish red as the outline on my pieces, and so I pre-mix the colour. And if I don't do the mistake I did last time, which you can see in my previous YouTube video, where I don't close my pot properly and all my mix dries out, then usually that little pot will last me a while, and I can outline a number of paintings with that pre-mixed colour. What kind of hair are the brushes made of, Rafimen? It's synthetic. So Craftamo is cruelty free, they don't use animal hair. So these are synthetic brushes. I think they're nylon? I think it's on the website, I think. Black Taclon brush hair, it says here. Saman. How did you design the face? Do you use your reference or is it from imagination? I would recommend looking at my my video, my previous YouTube video. I use myself for reference most of the time. So in this case, I have a reference of myself. I think I have it on my phone somewhere. But I like long features, so I like extra long faces, extra long fingers, extra long everything, extra long hands and legs and all that. I like really gangly looking characters, so I like making things a bit extended. Scribbles, what did I put my paints on and why? Use the this is my wet palette on the right, on my left, on my right. Oh my god, what happened? On my right, yes, it's a wet palette. So it's got a sponge sheet and that's soaked with water, and then a parchment paper on the top that soaks in a little bit of the water, and it allows my paint to not dry too quickly, because as you can see here, like the mix is really thin. I barely use any paint at all, and so if it was on a normal palette it would dry out really fast and I would have to constantly keep using more paint. Whereas with this palette it means that I can keep working with the same wash for a longer period of time. I'm not being very consistent with my light source on this one, but you know. LCCJ, I think it's very hard to do fine lines like mine with brushes. It takes practice. I didn't used to be able to do it, and I don't like. I think that's partly why I also sometimes use a dip pen instead of a brush. It's because sometimes I'm very tired, or I'm low on blood sugar because I forgot to eat or something, or too much coffee or whatever, you know, and I won't feel up to using a brush. So I won't feel like it's a challenge I want to undertake at that point in time. So that's why I have a dip pen too sometimes. And sometimes I prefer the brush because the brush will be like I have brush dip pen tips that I could use that are more calligraphic and that I could use for varying my line weight, but that would become a bit of a faff. So if I want my line weight to be a bit more varied, I will tend to use a brush. But again, I have to be in the right state of mind and I have to feel up to the task. So I completely understand if you can't get lines with brushes. It's completely normal. I can't always do it either, which is why I give myself options. Elia, oh, that's super cool. So you like the angled brushes here also, I would assume. I feel like these are the most unusual ones in my brush set. I think I don't often see people use angled brushes, and I didn't really know what to do with them when I first saw them, when I started painting more. I only started really using angled brushes when I started using gouache, and then I just fell in love with them really. Is that mix I want? Yeah. It's just both tougher and easier than I thought. Chatting with you guys, I just always feel bad when I miss people's messages. Thanks for getting a set, Fiona. Sorry if I miss you guys when you say you've bought one or something too. Is there any specific brand of paint I prefer, apple juice, or specific inks? Not really, because I don't have very much money, so I can't experiment with brands. I think with watercolour, I was really lucky because I had a patron of mine who sent me a bunch of brands that I didn't know, and I was able to experiment with watercolours a bit much and a bit more. And I've experimented with watercolours more than I have with acrylic brands. I'm mostly familiar with, I think I have one golden acrylic here, and then most of my acrylics have been Liquitex because they are affordable, and I haven't actually been painting with acrylic for that long, only maybe a couple of years, so I mostly use acrylics from Liquitex. I do want to explore more different acrylics. I use soft body acrylics though, and I think not all brands make necessarily a good range of fluid acrylics. I know Golden has a nice range, I think. But they're expensive, so I'm not at the stage where I'm able to experiment too much with my brands of acrylic. Jasper. It's not actually that high. It's 5 brushes, so you know, it's a pretty standard price for brushes. Like, good brushes tend to be quite a lot per brush. Plus, they are custom, so they are made with my signature on the side and in a custom box, so you also pay for the box and the fact that it comes with the art of the artist on it and all that, so there's a lot of premium qualities added to stuff like that. It's quite common for special editions and collaborations and artist editions of things to be a bit different in price to what a standard box would be. But they're not actually, I don't think at least, very expensive, but you know, it'll depend on budgets. Am I using acrylic or watercolour today, Caroline? I am using acrylics. I've lost YouTube. Where's YouTube? Here we go. Pluto, do you paint full time? Yes, I do. Well, in theory. Technically, I do. Whether that actually translates to my everyday life or not really, because so much of my life is admin. But yes, I'm being mischievous, but yes, it's my job. I do this full time now, which is an insane blessing, honestly. It's quite unbelievable sometimes, and it's not easy. Like, I don't make a terribly good living, and I live in a very expensive city, and it's all a bit difficult sometimes, but I don't know, it's just such a privilege to be able to do art for a living, and even more so because I don't even work for clients. I literally just do my own work, and I live off of doing YouTube videos and having a Patreon and people buying prints, and which is unbelievable to me. Like, that's just, I have so much trouble believing that I could be that lucky. And that's very much thanks to a lot of you, so thank you for that. And I will never tire of saying thank you for that. Yeah, exactly, Ilya. Some sets are very, like, honestly, premium brushes can be incredibly expensive, especially like if they're natural hair and a lot of things like this. Sabrina, do you ever feel like the sketch or alla prima pieces look better than the pieces you spend a lot of time on? Yeah. Yeah. So I actually saw, I couldn't, you know, that common thing of people who they'll do a sketch, and it's a common thing with artists where we go, oh damn, it looked better as a sketch and I lost something when I painted it. And I saw a pretty good explanation of that resonated with me recently. I don't remember who said it, but it's the fact that, for example, like in a sketch you'll have all these lines that overlap, and so unconsciously your eye will choose the one it thinks looks best and will have a specific like it will pick the bits of the drawing that work best in all the option that it's presented with because of all these lines that are overlapping. And then you paint it. When you paint it, you actually make a clear decision on which line you want to include in the piece, and so you suddenly restrict the choice, and you have to see the drawing with very clear structure and clear lines, and you don't have all these unconscious options in the way it could look. I don't know if I'm not expressing myself right because I'm focusing on too many things, but I thought that was quite a good explanation as to why there's that phenomenon where sketches feel like they are maybe more dynamic, more alive, more fluid than paintings. It's because, you know, they have that they give you so many visual options unconsciously. There's all these lines that give you different options to interpret the drawing, whereas in a painting it's all predetermined, it's all defined, and so it feels like it loses a lot of fluidity and something organic. But that's, I think, why I actually quite like doing outlines like this. It's because as I've gotten more experience, I feel like I'm starting to understand what my eye likes in my sketches, and I'm starting to know what outlines I should go for in order to be content with how the painting looks compared to the sketch. It comes with experience, like most things, I think. Lisa, I paid so much more for brushes than I was required to have in school. Actually, when I was in high school, I think that's the equivalent, we had to, I take things incredibly literally, so when I was given lists of supplies I needed for school, I would buy every single one exactly as asked, and we were told to buy this giant brush, and I have never used it. It's damaged because I used the handle a lot for like mixing paints and things. The brush itself, barely ever used it. Definitely did not use it when I bought it in school. And this was expensive. Like a brush like this was really expensive. So yeah, brushes can cost so much money. I remember having to purposefully save for quality paints and quality brushes, see Brackens. Yeah, absolutely. I think, like, the highest quality, I'm lucky that the highest quality paints that I've had were the Princeton, well, the first high quality brushes I had were the Princeton that was sent by Strathmore when I did that gouache course with them. And I think before that I had maybe 5 or 6 brushes that had cost me a good amount. I'm gonna raise this a tiny bit. There we go. That's better. And yeah, I would save up to get the brushes I liked and the paints I like. I also asked for paints and brushes for my birthday and things like that. Because they're definitely an investment, which is why I'm saying that I should be more careful about how I treat my brushes, because they are definitely an investment. Kai, oh, thank you. I appreciate that a whole lot. I need to drink. Jasper, I know, I'm sorry. I completely understand. You know, I have, you know, all the sympathy for that, very much so. And I think, especially right now, it's a bit of a tough time for a lot of people. I'm definitely not excluded from that. So yeah, I'm really sorry. It's one of those things where if I could give everything in the world for free to everyone, it'd be great. What paper am I painting on, Audrey? I'm painting on... 1 second. I'm going to finish. That was going to get a bit blotchy. Actually... I'm using this paper. So the specifications are down there. So watercolor paper. Have I tried Liquitex Basics? Well, the problem is that I sell my art, so I want as high of a quality of paint as possible. So I can't go for like the basic sets of any brand because I have to go for it for the highest quality I can afford, basically. At this point, I used to have Liquitex Base. I think I still have them because, again, it was something that I was asked to buy in school a long time ago, and I still have those very old paints. And do you guys want to be closer? I'm going to bring you a tiny bit closer. Yeah, hopefully I don't hit the camera, but yeah, I have a few Liquitex Basics. I don't really like watering down thicker paints just because it takes so much more work. I'm lazy. It's just nicer to work with fluid acrylics. They just work better. Plus also, I think the more you water down an acrylic with water, the more it sort of makes it unstable as a medium once it dries. Whereas I think these soft acrylics, these, how do they call them? Soft body acrylics. They tend to be, I think, already not watered down, but they've got a medium in them that makes them a bit more fluid in a more stable way, if that makes sense. I love your art style. Thank you, Style. This is quite fun. There's something actually quite nice about talking to you guys while I paint, because it's making me not overthink what I'm doing. I'm going quite instinctively in my brush strokes, which is actually quite cathartic. It's quite nice, because I think I do have a tendency to overthink when I paint, and I'm quite enjoying how it makes me a bit more... See, I'm painting, usually when I'm painting I would probably be a bit more broad with my brush strokes. I would try to be less sort of dotty, but I actually really like going in smaller brush strokes, because I look up at this chat, I can't just get too carried away with what I'm painting. But as a result, I quite like painting this way. It's quite enjoyable. Do you guys have a British version on Texas? A bunch of American artists that I know escaped to Texas state because everything in Texas is cheaper. Salman, no, because we don't have regions like that that are sort of. I mean, I suppose Luxembourg in Europe is like the tax haven where all the French celebrities have gone to hide their money, but as far as the UK and country in particular, no. Sophia, what do you mean painting like an angry lady? I love that. Just I definitely like to do that sometimes. Sometimes I get really frustrated in my sketchbook that nothing I'm making looks like what I want it to look like, and I'll just literally angrily scribble until the page tears a little bit, and it's very cathartic and very enjoyable. Jasper, you can't use a medium the wrong way, really. Honestly, the medium is a tool, and however you feel like using it is valid, honestly. I think the only thing with mediums is that the closest you could get to using it the wrong way, in my personal opinion, would be that use it in a way that makes it difficult. So, you know, for example, I think gouache is not as fun used like watercolour, because it just isn't really meant to behave exactly like watercolour. So trying to achieve watercolour effects with gouache is harder than it would be if you use watercolour, which is why I wouldn't recommend doing it. But it's not wrong, like, you're allowed to, like, some people love it. And again, I'm using these acrylics more like watercolour. Like, use the mediums however you want to, however makes you happy. I understand being worried about wasting them, especially when they're expensive and you don't have a lot of money to replace them if you use too much or it goes too wrong and it turns out you don't have any more paints. So I understand being worried about wasting things, but I think if you're able to experiment with mediums and use them in ways that they're not necessarily, that it doesn't necessarily feel like they are supposed to be used, it can be really enlightening and it can really open you to new techniques, and it can be just really fun too. I don't ever feel like there's rules that you shouldn't break about anything, especially art related. Sophia, are you worried at all about the longevity of your pieces and how they'll age? Yes, 100%. I'm not as thorough about keeping an eye on light fastness of my colours as I should be, because it's tedious. Makes me sound really lazy and careless. I'm not. I do try and get as good of a paint as I can, and I do try to do my best to make sure that what I paint with will allow things to last a long time. And because I use modern mediums, most modern mediums are quite good with longevity. I do have a self-confidence issue also, where I don't really believe anyone will ever keep my pieces long enough that it would become a problem, but I don't know whether that's true or not. But I do a little bit, yeah. I do tend to recommend for anyone who buys originals that they keep them, you know, away from sunlight and stuff. But to some extent, I don't picture myself as someone who'll ever be in museums in any capacity, and that's fine, by the way. I don't care. So I don't care. I think most of my pieces will probably last like at least a century, because they're modern paints and most modern paints are just fine nowadays. We're good at making things last these days. But I don't care about my paintings outliving me very much, to be honest. I should, maybe? I don't know. LINC, thank you so much for buying the brushes. Oh, I hope you'll love them. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I have to thank you. You don't need to thank me. It's me who's very, very thankful. Saman, the hair. I didn't learn it from anyone, but I have always struggled with hair, and one of my favourite artists, she's called Dory, why not? She does really cool hair, and I often look at her pieces and try to analyse how she draws hair, because I think her hair is fabulous, and I'm not very good at hair, so that's where I draw most of my knowledge, because she's great. Now this looks a bit darker on screen than it does in real life. My throat is getting dry. Kai, you're doing art yourself. I do want to make more streams. I'm trying to set up like a monthly schedule maybe, where I would stream maybe once a month. Yeah, that's what monthly means. I'm an idiot, but you know. I definitely want to do more streams because I think they're really fun, and It makes me feel like I'm hanging out with people even though you're not really like talking back audio wise to me. So it's a bit different than hanging out with people, but it does help me just, I don't know, it's a really nice community to be able to know that you guys are here and that you're doing your own thing, you're keeping me company and you're helping me not overthink stuff, and I can show you a bit of my process. And I also do like the challenge of trying to figure out how to paint something while I'm chatting too. It's quite fun. Thank you, Caroline. I appreciate those words of encouragement. It's slightly overwhelming, but not in a bad way, you know. I appreciate that you think I'm doing well. Thank you very much. I do think I should have had a proper lunch rather than just a donut, because I can feel the sugar crush. It's great to see me talking see me arting while talking. Thanks, Laura. Yeah, to me too. It's actually quite nice to feel like I've got company. Sometimes I do wish it was like more of a like hearing you talk back, because I just feel so bad when I miss messages, and I don't want you guys to feel like I've ignored you, or I don't know. But what was I wanted to do black with, I don't have the right colours. Maybe if I mix these two guys, get a nice black, Payne's grey, a bit of red, get a nice dark purple. I'm actually just matching this colour, which is ridiculous. Okay, that's all I've done. Let's see. Actually, I don't want this one. Get a smaller one. I shouldn't leave that in the water. See, this is one of the ways in which I don't take good care of my brushes, and I'm surprised the tip on my brushes has lasted as long as it has, because I do have a tendency to leave them in my water pot, and that's really bad. Please don't do the same thing as me. Let's see. God, I love the point on these brushes though. They're so good. They're good mixed media brushes too. I was a bit worried initially when I chose the round brushes to be in my kit, because they are soft and very absorbent, so they're pretty much watercolour brushes really, and I don't require them to be super absorbent, but because of the way they are, their shape, I can control sort of the flow of the paint quite well with them, because the tip will be a lot drier than the body of the brush, which is fab. Apple juice, the way I paint and shade is so pleasing to watch. Thank you. This is a bit unusual. This is more like bitsy than I usually paint, but I actually quite like the look of that. The only one way to use your mediums is by being afraid and not using them at all. Pretty much, yeah, I agree. But even then, like, I'll temper that by saying that as someone who doesn't earn very much money and knows how expensive stuff gets, I completely understand being afraid of using stuff wrong and sort of wasting them. But the thing with waste is that things are only wasted when they are not used. And that's it really. But yeah, I completely understand being afraid of not using something properly because you've got a limited supply of it. But with art, unfortunately, it's an expensive hobby, because happiness in doing art comes from experimenting and doing lots of different things and trial and error, and it's a very accessible hobby, art, in a way that you can do art with the most basic, the most accessible supplies you have. You know, I mean, there's land artists do it pretty much just with what they find outside, for example, but it's also inaccessible. Some parts of art as a practice are very inaccessible, It's inaccessible for anyone who wants to use supplies that are more expensive, and it breaks my heart because I really think that art is one of those things that should be very widely accessible to people. It's incredible as a personal practice. I think it can bring a lot of happiness to people. It teaches you so much about trying to not have insane expectations of yourself too, and being kind to yourself, and like if you want to be sustainable and enjoy what you're doing in art, you really have to be so forgiving of yourself. And many people are too hard on themselves and would benefit from being able to just be happy in the moment and see the results of what they've created and be glad that they've managed to create something. Elisa, how do you overcome the self-doubt you've mentioned? I struggle so much with that myself. Oh, thank you. How do I overcome the self-doubt? I keep making things. Honestly, I haven't overcome it, is the simple answer to that. I have it every single day. I compare myself to people I love the work of so much. Oh my goodness. But the only way I have found to live with it in a way that isn't crippling and doesn't stop me from enjoying the things I love and trying to push forward is literally just to keep making things. And failing is so goddamn important, because I used to make paintings, and then if they didn't work out, and if I couldn't do anything like with them that I wanted, I could make prints out of them, if I couldn't make a video from them, if I wasn't happy with them enough that I sorry, I want to burp. if they didn't live up to the expectations that I had for myself when I started the painting, then I would get really, really depressed, and I would feel like I failed as an artist and like I shouldn't keep going, and I would start questioning everything and not wanting to keep going and feel like, oh, my ideas were terrible, and basically like a spiral. And literally the only way to get myself out of that spiral is to keep doing something and realize that having failed something or thinking that I've failed something is not the end. It's not that big dramatic failure. It literally is just a blip in the grand scheme of things, and learning to just distanciate myself from the moments where I feel like I failed, and understand that it's not a big deal and it doesn't define me and it's not a representation of everything I am and everything my art will ever be, has been so important, because we are not one moment and we are not one thing. We are everything, and we constantly evolve, so we are never stuck in one place. We will never just be what we are in this moment. We will be everything that we continue doing after that. And coming to terms with the fact that I'm going to fail sometimes, but also sometimes if I keep going, I'm going to be so proud of myself for having kept going, is how I overcome that self-doubt and that sort of constant nagging voice in the back of my head that tells me that I'm not worthy and I don't do things good enough and I'm never going to amount to anything. And yeah, I don't know if that answered the question. I went rambly a bit, sorry. Apple juice, me painting with gouache like watercolour right now. That's cool though, it's good. Like, keep doing it if you like doing it. It's the most important metric. You enjoy doing it? Just do it. Just do it. Do more of it. You deserve to like what you're doing, and it doesn't matter if anyone tells you that you're doing wrong. It doesn't matter. You're not doing it wrong so long as you're having fun doing it. Have you considered streaming on Twitch? From Kai. A lot of people, including me, prefer the viewer experience there. Yeah, I have a Twitch account. I've Twitch streamed in... When did I stream on there? 2017, I think? 2016? I don't know. I did a couple of stream Twitches. The reason I do it on YouTube is just because I can keep everything in one place, basically. Like I already have an Instagram, a TikTok, a YouTube, a Patreon, like a Twitter, and I'm exhausted. I'm exhausted by having to keep up with lots of platforms. So if at some point I become consistent enough with streams and I feel like it's definitely a venture that I want to keep up with seriously and be more active with, then I might consider coming back to Twitch. But for now, just keeping it on YouTube is much more helpful for me, if that makes sense. That hand is a bit darker than the other one, it's pity, but anyway. Didn't matter, didn't matter. I should try and paint that hair at some point. Jasper, I think I worry less about the medium itself and more the tools in which you use them, like the brushes and the paper. Every medium is different with what works best with it, and that's yeah. I completely understand. But again, honestly, genuinely, these are all things that you'll adapt with and find ways you want to use them in the ways that suit you. And I know that's not like an ideal response, because I know that when you don't necessarily have all that much experience with a lot of mediums, it's very frustrating when someone tells you that you don't need directions, you can do whatever you want, because no, I get it. Like, I get there's a frustrating answer. But it's just difficult to go wrong unless you're smashing your brushes on the paper. And even then, I think that could be a completely valid way to paint. Unless you're like destroying things and having to buy 1 million a month because you keep making the same very obvious error over and over again. It just working with the objects and working with the mediums as much as possible is the main way you'll find the way you want to work in them that makes you happiest. And I know it's a frustrating answer, I know it's an annoying answer, but then like if you like, oh, I'm sorry, I'm babbling because I don't really know how to express what I want to say, but I understand, like, it's overwhelming. There are tons and tons of art mediums and art supplies out there. I know when I first started working on paper, I didn't know how to start. I was worried about the papers I was using. I was worried that I might be misusing them, and that's why I wasn't getting the results I wanted and stuff. But you do gradually learn the more you do it, and you know, thankfully there's more and more people sharing that information, so that information is more readily available out there nowadays. So if you want to achieve a certain effect and you feel like you can't because you might be using your materials wrong, thankfully, you know, feel free to ask if you have very specific questions and I'll answer them. But the margin of error is very big, I think. And you can definitely experiment with pretty much every art supply and get a result that could be interesting. Saman, good to know. Do spam a message if you really want me to read it. Not too much, obviously, like, don't you know. But fair enough, thank you, it's reassuring. Stephanie, oh my god, I can relate. I leave my brushes in the water way too much. I'm really gonna try and not do that with these ones, because it would be really sad if like the black comes off. I feel like the colour scheme doesn't come across on the camera very well, which is a bit of a pity. It's brighter and more saturated in real life than it is on the camera. Hi Miku. Wendy, good. I'm like you. Like, I'm glad, because I'm very good at roundy waffles, and I go absolutely nowhere with them, and then I forget what my intention was, and then it's a mess, and I feel like I need to apologise. So I'm glad they're enjoyable. Hey Alex. Oh no, I'm so sorry. I hope you'll get better. I'm not great either. I don't have a fever, but I am like a mild cold. Sending you love. Take care of yourself. I hope you're in bed with a cup of tea. Sophia, you agree with Jasper specifically when I want to try everything art related. It's frustrating sometimes. Yeah, it's fair. It's honestly very fair, and it's definitely something I can remember experiencing for myself when I first started being more serious about painting and stuff. So I completely understand. I wish I could say anything other than experimentation is pretty much the key, but it is, which is part of what makes art in some ways inaccessible for a lot of people. Ooh, keep losing this. Right. Ooh, I lost YouTube again. I have too many tabs open. Right, should I tackle that hair? I'm not good at painting hair. I'm scared. What colour should I go? Also don't know what colour to go with for the brambles. I did a mistake with that eye when I inked it. It was too small in comparison to the other one. So I think I'm going to paint the character blind. I quite like that. I didn't put any shadows on the fingers. Where is my light source coming? Because clearly it's coming. I did not keep in mind my light source, which is silly. But hey, it happens. It does not matter. Let's assume that there are multiple ones and I just, I don't know, you know. Sometimes it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Sometimes you gotta go with the flow. What if I could fix that image of the light source? So having put the shadows there means the light could it come from? So we see light come from here, but then why is that hand not got any light on it? Yeah, I screwed up. Oh well, doesn't matter. It's fun anyway. Hello, Jenna. Oh, good, Alex. I'm glad you're in bed. Oh, I wish I could knit. Sophia, you're using everything in your kitchen. If it works, it works. Yeah, pretty much. Honestly. I started painting with a brush set that I still have, that I bought in Lidl for, I think it was £3. And that's how I started painting with gouache. I had this £3 set of really bad brushes, but I couldn't afford anything else. So I got those. And I still have them because actually they weren't as awful as they felt like they might be. Jasper, sometimes I just want to colour with Crayola crayons. Honestly, same. I'm really impressed by people who can colour with crayons. Or even just like coloured pencils. Like, there's a person that's good at a medium out there. Any medium. Like, someone has figured out how to use a really obscure medium or a really like annoying medium really well. And I don't know where they get the patience and the determination to do that, but there's so many amazing people out there. I will never stop being amazed at how creative and ingenious and motivated and determined people are at creating things. Just genuinely amazed every time. apple juice. Make yourself a tea. Tea is great. I live on herbal teas. It runs in my bloodstream at this point. I have a probably infuriating collection for my boyfriend because all our cupboards are taken up by my tea collection, and that's probably very annoying for him. Jasper, my heart shatters whenever I break a crayon. Yeah, I think there's like a challenge we all set ourselves when we start painting with crayons or drawing with crayons, where you're like, this one will not break. But they always do. They always do. They are made to be heartbreaking. Sophia Lima. Don't use smooth paper for crayons? Seriously? I would have thought you had to. Do you like, is it better to use textured paper then? Oh, the fact that I screwed up my light source annoys me. Jenna, I am amazed by people who manage to draw with acrylics. I mean, I'm amazed at people who manage to paint with acrylics, like thickly, like oil paints. Because I mostly use the acrylics because they don't reactivate, which is something that annoys me with watercolors, and also because watercolors dry so much lighter and acrylics don't do that quite as much. So I feel like I control my values better, and I'm impatient. So acrylics used like watercolors work best for me. But yeah, I'm amazed at people who can use acrylics thickly. I'm not good at that. Oh, Sophia, I see. Right, so the pencils just glide all over. I can relate. I think gouache is a bit the same on smooth paper. That's why I don't like hot press watercolor paper with gouache. I know some people love it. I personally don't like it because it just makes the paint glide everywhere, and I don't like it. So it makes sense. They would be like that with pencils. It makes complete sense. What colour should I paint the brambles and the flowers? I would quite like the flowers to be red. I would like her hair to be dark, so I'm thinking the bramble here with the spines could be white, like red tips on each of the spikes, because that way it'd be a nice contrast with the hair. I don't want a dark background for this painting because I like the line art, and I feel I could lose a lot of the line art if I have a dark background. I don't like painting hair. I get scared. Maybe a dark purple for the hair could be cool. I'm gonna get a bit of brown. You like that, Jenna? You like the outlines I did for the hair? Thank you. I like it too. I wasn't sure it was going to work out. I am getting better at drawing hair, I think. I need to practice doing hair more because I find it confusing. But I'm glad you like it. I think I like the outline of this image actually. I should have scanned. I forgot to do that. I wanted to scan it before I painted it just in case I ruined it. But too late. Too late. Is that colour I like? Dark purple like that? I think so. I'm not gonna like go super dark with the hair, but I'm gonna try and make it look like it's supposed to be fairly dark hair. Do like a light, maybe Payne's grey wash over it. Really light. Oh, it's a bit more purpley than Payne's grey, but actually going to use the big brush for this. I'm resisting trying to leave my brush in the water because this is not good for my live stream. I'm the same as you, Alex. I'm amazed at anyone. Like, I want everything to be watered down. I'm more comfortable with stuff being watered down and painted in washes. Impasto and stuff is like awesome, and I think it's really cool that when people are able to do it. But I don't feel capable of it myself. I get really uncomfortable with it. I don't know why. Oh, Lisa, yeah, putting your paintbrushes in your drink is the 101 universal artist experience, I think. Which is why I try to be very thorough about having, like, my glass be a very distinct, different shape to the paint, the one I did my paint in. You know, I should have painted. No, that doesn't make any sense. I'm talking nonsense. I was gonna say I should have painted the hair first, but that would not change anything to the situation I'm in. Because I was like, maybe I could cover it up because the hands are over the hair. So if I had painted the hair first, then I could have painted over. Not worried about outlining the fingers and stuff. But that's nonsense, because I'm painting in washes. I've gone back to my big brush, because it just works better to hold. It holds more water, so I can do bigger washes. And because it's so fine tipped, I can still use it to paint all the fine areas, like the little nooks and crannies. But because it holds so much water, I know that I'm going to be able to hold my paint long enough in it to paint the entire area I need to fairly quickly. I like that colour, it's a nice colour. Yeah, Alex, my first medium was watercolour too, so I think it's my comfort zone, I think, to work in washes, honestly. I used to be very self-conscious about staying within my comfort zones for most things, but you know what, if it helps me enjoy what I do and create more, sometimes it's okay to just stay in what makes you comfortable and happy. Scribbles, my old art teacher used to say the brushes were going to drown if we left them in water. Oh no. Yeah, it's not good. I have too many brushes that have no paint left on the top part of their handle. It's all flaked off, and I've always really enjoyed flaking off the paint myself, you know, like cracking it off. It's not good. It's not good. It makes your handles more susceptible to getting mouldy, and it's not good. The varnish and stuff is on those brush handles for a reason, and I need to respect my stuff enough to take good care of it. But it's so tempting, especially with acrylics. I get really paranoid about not having washed out my brushes well enough, and was like, maybe if I just leave them in the water, it means that I don't have to worry about cleaning them out properly. They'll just, like, all the paint will seep out of them while they are soaking in there, and they won't get crusty because the paint won't have dried in them. But it's silly because it damages the brushes either way. So, ooh, my back clicked. Yes, dead eyes, Saman, exactly. Jasper, was there a burp? They have been quite quiet today. I think middle of the afternoon they don't tend to be around as much. Nadia, thank you. I'm glad you're liking the piece, and I hope your peonies are going good. Are going well. Let's see if I can make a nice brownish black. Hello, Burb. Oh, they're so pretty. Alex, if you haven't tried oils, people who love watercolour, I recommend it because you can really transfer your knowledge. I agree. I find oils, I mean, this might be controversial to say, I find oils easy. And that's not derogatory, by the way. I don't think things being easy is a derogatory thing to say. I think it's a good thing. They're not easy, but I find them easier than I was expecting them to be when I tried them. The reason I find them easy is because you can go over them a lot. So they're not easy to necessarily achieve the desired effect immediately, but they are more forgiving in a way that you can go over them fairly often, and that's so good. Like, oils are fab. I don't like the feel and look of them personally in my own work, but they are great. Like, I'm gonna try and get myself to like them a little bit more in the future because they are such a cool medium, and they really allow for a lot of versatility and all of that. So oils are definitely awesome. Jenna, oils seem tedious to me. Yeah, I understand because they used to seem really tedious to me too. And they are, to be honest, like I need things to be quickly accessible in order to keep my motivation when I decide to set up to paint and things like that. So I do find prep time to have quite a big effect on whether I'm going to get some painting in on any given day. And that's one thing with oils. Even water-based oils, they do take more prep and they do take a bit more faff to get ready than watercolors, for example, or even acrylics like this. I think it's one of those things that you get used to. You know, you have to get into a routine, and once you know your medium, your setup probably takes a lot less time, and you have everything. You get the ball rolling quicker. But there is a barrier to entry when it comes to actually setting up oils because they are more tedious to get ready, and they also, yeah, I understand. I think many people have the feelings that oils are a bit tedious in comparison to other mediums. They're probably worth it, honestly, but I would quite like to use traditional oils and not water. I've got water-based oils, but I don't know. I think I would quite like to try oil-based oils. But they are quite dangerous. You need a well-ventilated area, and I know some of the oil thinners, is that the word? The thinners that you can use with oils can be quite dangerous. There are some that are better nowadays. We are again quite good at manufacturing things and making them safer and all that, but you do need to put your research in. Most things deserve to be treated, and most chemically things deserve to be taken care with. And I've lost my train of thought, sorry. Caroline, I can't thank you enough for putting your work out there, and particularly for this live stream. I was on the fence about the brushes, but watching you work with them, I went ahead and got them. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. You're great. Thank you. I'm so glad. I really, really like them. I genuinely am not trying to sell you something that I'm not going to use. I genuinely really, really love these brushes. And, sorry, I'm gurgly. And I really hope they'll hold up for you guys too, and that you guys will enjoy them too. I know that the selection of shapes in the set can maybe feel a bit strange to anyone who might want something a bit more comprehensive, but if you've been following my work and you see how I work, then I felt like having something that was faithful to how I work might be interesting to people. There are many brush sets that have more comprehensive selections out there, and so I wanted something that reflected me a bit more. I need to make sure. Oh, sorry, that was loud. Applebee. Peach tea with honey. That sounds delicious. Thank you. I'm glad you like the hair so far. I'm quite enjoying it. XPG, hello. Sophia. Love oils, but I work in layers and don't have much time to wait for things to dry. Same. Also, don't have the patience. I really don't. I'm not impatient per se, I don't think, but I'm also not super patient. And oils are something that I think you need to work on a piece for an extended period of time for, well, not necessarily, but a lot of the time. And I wouldn't get much stuff done if I had to only work on pieces for extended periods of time. I think the longest I've ever taken on a painting is a week, because I get mentally quite critical and bored. So if I'm working on something for too long, there's a high likelihood of me abandoning it after working on it for a while, because I don't know, mentally I need to move on to new things quite quickly, and I don't think my success rate would be very high if I was required to work on something for a very long time. You know, do what works for you. And for me, I've come to terms with the fact that I need stuff to be done within a week-ish, as far as art comes, in order for me to produce consistently. Jasper, I've been wanting to try water-based oils. What are some good budget-friendly brands? I have no idea. I'm so sorry. I have one brand. And mine is Winsor Newton, because I bought like their basic set, their starter set basically. And that's the only one I have, and I've used it once. So I'm not a good person to ask. If anyone in the chat has any recommendation as far as good, beginner friendly, water-based, non-toxic oils, please do tell. I'm sure Jasper would be interested, and also other people in the chat would love to know, including me, to be honest. I would love to know if there's like good brands out there that people can recommend for water-based oils. Alex, here we go. Yeah, that's the one I have. Winsor Newton. Cobra is a brand. Oh, I will always be a sucker for brands that offer Payne's Grey in their selection, which is not a given, especially with oils and acrylics for some reason. Like, I have struggled to find Payne's Greys. I don't know, struggle on the plural of that one. With acrylics, very frustrating. Jasper, yeah, don't worry. We need you meant water soluble. I think I probably said water based too, but yes, water soluble oils. Am I doing something right with that hair? I don't know. Hair is probably the thing I have the least amount of experience painting, because as many of you will probably have noticed, a lot of my characters are bald. Sorry if I'm sniffly. Jenna, I'm not sure about getting the brushes because I don't really paint anymore. Fair enough. That's a valid reason. I mean, it depends on whether you feel that you can spare the money, really. Completely understand if it's not a priority. Can I ask why you don't paint as much anymore? Like, is it something that you want to get back into, or is it just something that you realise isn't really for you? Maybe you prefer drawing. Scribbles, I keep forgetting to drink because I'm working and get so into it that I don't notice time passing. Yep, same. Also, I have a straw, but which usually would make me drink more, but this time around I think it makes it a bit more fiddly, so I don't use it as much. Oh, Saman, thank you so much for joining us. It was lovely to have you, and I hope you will have a truly wonderful day. You've made mine better by being on the stream, so thank you. Nadia, I just realised that I didn't complete my paintbrush order. Thank you for getting them. I appreciate you guys so much, and it's quite fun to have you say it on the stream too. It's really nice. Thank you. Deborah, you like seeing the drawing come to life with all layers. Thank you. I really enjoy that part too, because I don't know why, but I do have trouble visualizing how I want something to look like before I start painting, especially because this one I didn't actually plan anything when it comes to like the color scheme and all that, so it's sort of a bit improvised as I go along, and I'm quite enjoying it so far. I've gone quite light with my layers, probably lighter than I would go if I was painting this without streaming, because I'm trying to be a bit more careful because of the multitasking part of this. So I would probably go in slightly more opaque layers if I was to work on my own time on this. But it's actually been quite insightful to work slowly, especially on the hair. I have to be a bit more thoughtful about how I paint that hair. I never know how to paint hair. Jenna, I just don't find enough motivation to do any art because I feel like I'm stuck in my progress. I have no good ideas and stuff. Yeah, I understand that. I understand that. It's one of those catch-22s where the more you feel like that, the less you paint, the more you feel like that, you know? A lot of feeling like that comes from also not doing things, because you do end up being stuck, basically. And so being stuck means that you're not giving yourself an opportunity to improve and stuff. And I can relate to that very deeply. It's such a common struggle. I hope you'll manage to get out of it, because I'm sure you do great work, and I'm sure your work is much more wonderful than you give yourself credit for. I would recommend not basing yourself on inspiration if you, I mean, I don't know if you want any advice. I'm giving you advice, but you might not want any. Sorry. But yeah, inspiration is overrated, honestly. If you want to create, you don't feel like you ever have to do anything new. Everything's already been done, which is sort of liberating in a way, because it means that you just get to do whatever you want to be doing, and you don't need to be original or find inspiration or be particularly creative, because everything's been done already. There shouldn't be any pressure to be inspired or original, just pressure to do something that you love. Rat Grandpa, I love that username, that's hilarious. Oh, I really like the look of light grey hair so far, nice and mellow. Thank you. I actually quite like that colour scheme too. I was picturing myself going much darker and more black, but I actually quite like the mix of paint grey layers and I think it's transparent raw umber that I added to that, is it? Transparent raw umber, yep. And that watered down brown. I like that. I like the layers of that. I'm having quite a lot of fun painting that hair actually. Jenna. Scribbles. Oh, Lilith. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I wish I was like one of those professional Twitch streamers that has a little thing that makes noise and comes on the screen to celebrate like a new subscriber or whatever. But for the brushes, it'd be quite fun. But I don't know how to set that up. One day I will. but I don't know. So for now, thank you so much for purchasing Lift. And I'm lost. I've lost you guys. I don't know where I am in chat. You apple juice. Don't, like, I think that's one of the issues of having a coloured drink too. Is that you easily, from the corner of your eye, think it's your paintbrush pop. Don't drink your paint water. Wandering Journey Arts. Hello, I paint in ink and acrylic together because I find watercolour and gouache require too much patience. Honestly, same. I'll admit it, I love watercolours. They are my first love and I will always love them. But yeah, they require so much patience and so much forethought and like, oh, I don't know. I love them to bits and I will never cease to be amazed by people who are incredibly proficient with them. Ooh, that's too much water. But yes, I fully agree. Very much so. Kira, reviving my 2021 sketchbook to help with it. What do you mean? Am I missing a conversation? I think I'm missing bits of conversation because you guys are talking. Which is cool. I like seeing you guys having conversations, except I can't participate because I don't know what you've been saying, sorry. Jasper, Jenna, I find myself getting blocked and stuck a lot too. What has helped is me drawing, painting, colouring into imaginary plants. Oh, I love that. That's a good idea. Emily Artful made a video about it. She called them therapy flowers. That's super cool. That's such a cool idea. I love that. It's really lovely. I used to draw like little creatures when I was younger to inspire me. Therapy plant sounds so nice. I love that. Such a cool idea. I like Emily Artful. I like her stuff. Not sure if everyone has asked already, just imagine, but which colour do you use in this painting? I have this in, can you see my palette? I don't remember. I'm not connected to, oh, here we go. You can't see my palette, that's why. So, I have, this one here is Muted Violet. This one in the corner there is Muted Pink. I have some white here, some ochre, which is, actually no, that's a yellow oxide here, transparent raw umber here, and Payne's grey here. That's pretty much all I've used for this painting so far. I'm actually going to switch brushes. Sophia, if it helps when stuck, I usually change my subject a little bit. Basically allows me to suck at it because it's something new. Honestly, that's a good advice too. It can be challenging to paint something completely new because it's very humbling, but I fully agree with painting something completely new. It can be quite stimulating. It's good for the brain too, and plus sucking at something will make you feel so much more proficient at the things that you're good at afterwards. Like you'll struggle with one thing, get quite frustrated, and go back to something that you really like to paint, and the contrast will really be there and motivate you, show you that you are good at painting some things, which can be something that we can lose sight of sometimes. I do like how soft this is actually. Alex Mortier, making the Twitch streamer noise for purchase orders. Exactly. That's what I need. I always remember when I had an Etsy shop, early days of Etsy's, and they had that like ka-ching noise for sales, which was such a brilliant move on Etsy's part because you get so addicted to that ka-ching noise and it really makes you feel like you're like earning heaps of money when you're not. You're just selling a few small things. I just remember that ka-ching noise. I'm so glad I'm not on Etsy anymore. It's absolutely dumpster fire of a platform now, but that noise was genius, honestly. It's such a pity what they've become. Makes me a bit sad for the sellers on there because I love the premise of it being all a handmade platform was really cool. And then it just sort of went downhill and became just a reseller platform. I really like these angled brushes because I like the less control. I have less control over the angled brushes than I do over the round brushes, and I like how organic it makes my lines look as a result. Like I get they're more unpredictable in the patterns that they can create, and I think that can work really well when I'm painting anything organic. Sorry, I think my hand is casting a shadow. I hope it's not too distracting on the painting and doesn't hide what I paint. You can also get quite nice texture. I don't know if you'll be able to see that. Can you see that? I'm not sure. But you can get a nice texture with angled brushes. And they also are much stiffer than the round brushes, so they take more pigment and less water. And so it's quite nice to create darker areas more quickly. Deborah, have a lovely day, and thank you very much. I will have like a little short video, I think, uploaded at some point to show the result of the image. Thank you very much for joining. It was a pleasure to have you. Okay, thank you for joining, and are you joining okay, or are you leaving? I'm not sure, but if you're joining, thank you very much for being here, and if you're leaving, thank you very much for having been here. Jasper, oh my god, the palette itself is really pretty with how the colours blended in the middle. I know, it's really nice, isn't it? I do like the look of palettes like that. See, like, I wouldn't be able to reuse all of that on a normal ceramic palette, but the Stay Wet palette actually means that I can reuse my pigments quite, like, I've not had to add fresh colours to this palette at all since I started painting, which is really good. I will have to buy myself one because I'm the one who's supposed to be a professional artist, so stealing my boyfriend's supplies is a bit cheeky of me when I can claim stuff like that on taxes. But he's very, very lovely and has let me, what am I doing? I'm not going back to the face. Has let me borrow his stuff. But it's due time that I buy myself my own at some point. Oh, I'm glad you're finding good advice in the chat, Jenna. People are being very kind and helpful. I love this. It makes me very happy. Art block is one of those really complicated things. I think a lot of people have very different experiences of art block and different definitions and different solutions to them, and I think there's a lot of different types of art block too. And one of the key ways of getting out of an art block is knowing what's causing it, which needs a bit of introspection a lot of the time. Like, I know when I'm art blocked, I know some people will call art block like a lack of inspiration or being able to find ideas or any motivation to paint anything. For me, it's always been more that I start having a crisis of self-confidence and I compare myself to everyone else, and I don't think that I'm good enough, that I deserve to keep going. So that's my version of art block, and I know often it's because I'm very tired and I need a break, basically, because I don't give myself the breaks I need as often as I should. So it's usually a good sign that I need a break when I start being very art blocky. But it's so good that artists share their different experiences with them, because it's bound to resonate with someone else. So the more artists share their solutions and their experiences of art block, the healthier it is and the better it is for everyone, and the more helpful it is, which is super cool. Alex, I make decent benefits from Etsy still, since I'm not known enough to have people order from a personal shop yet, as most orders are rather serendipitous, but competition with resellers is very unfair. Oh, interesting. So as an artist, do you find that people can find you via the platform on Etsy then, even when I don't know you, because I've sort of given up on personally on finding an audience directly through my shop now. I completely just assume that all my sales will always come from building my audience via social media, and then they go to my shop. So it'd be really interesting to hear if having a platform that lets your shop reach new people is actually helpful to your sales. That's fascinating. I'd love to hear more. Because I feel like, don't you find it frustrating how many fees Etsy has now? I feel like they really overcharge. Is that the term I was looking for? I think so. People on their platform now, and they do a lot of dodgy things. Looks quite grey on the image. It's pretty. I'm doing a lot. Sorry. If I can. Is there a way to edit the colours on this? Ooh. Oh no, what's happening? What's happening? I don't know. I'm gonna stop messing with this. I feel like the colours are not showing very well on the footage. Anyway. Oh, Catherine Pearson, hello. I'm gonna sneeze. Hi Lana. Thanks Kaya, I really hope you'll like them. Catherine, I was in a really bad art block after making 28 pieces in 2 weeks. Yeah, I think that sounds like burnout. Good lord, that's a lot. It really helped to actually work on something I wasn't good at. Yeah, I agree with that. You really do sort of not expect so much out of yourself when you try something new, which is good because expectations of ourselves can be really destructive. Ravina, you're such an inspiration. Thank you. Your artwork holds such deep and thoughtful meaning and exudes such emotion. I hope you know how admired and love you are. Thank you. I don't know how to respond to that. Sometimes I cry when I read comments because I'm literally just a person in her studio doing drawings, and people are so kind, and it's makes me emotional. Thank you very, 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 very much. That was a very, very kind message. Yeah. Oh, Jessica, I didn't realise you were here. Sorry. Lovely to have you here. Oh, you got yourself a set. Thank you. I really hope you guys will like them. Oh. Thank you, Yi. Am I pronouncing this right? I'm glad you like the painting. I wish the colours were more faithful. I feel like they are a bit muted on the stream. Should I paint those flowers? Let me find my reference image. Do I have a reference image for the flowers? I thought I did. Yeah, flowering quince shrub is my reference image for the flowers, although they're a bit pinker in the image. But scribbles. Alex is an artist, so she is a really good artist. Her art is very cool. It's similar to mine. It's dark and surreal and wonderful, and I highly recommend that you check her out because she's also a really lovely person from the interaction I've had with her so far on social media. She's always been really supportive of my work and really kind and deserves all the shout outs. I wish I could buy more things from all the lovely artists that I've found on social media. Wandering Journey Arts, my favourite way to get out of art block is to watch other artists, especially artists who do stuff that is wildly different from mine and then routinely with their techniques. Yeah, I agree with that. Actually, it depends on what kind of art block I'm in, but sometimes watching other people will actually be the problem because I compare myself to them. But I agree with watching completely different artists, like people who do stuff that I wouldn't be wanting to do myself or don't think I'm capable of doing myself, because it's just inspiring and it really makes you reconnect with which one do I want? Oh, the medium one. Reconnect with the fun of it, and I fully agree with that. Watching other people have fun with what they do, and 100% think that it can help with art block. Just seeing the passion of it in other people. I find seeing passionate people really makes me remember what the whole point of it is. Yeah. Am I all gurgly? Oh, okay, Alex. So people find you via ads on Etsy. That's amazing. That's fascinating. Oh, I've been talking more than I'm used to. And my throat was very sore. Jasper, guys, help me muster up the courage to ask my crush out on the movie date. Do it. Do it. Do it. Do it. Honestly, I'm not one to encourage you, because I had my first boyfriend at age 16 and I don't think I've ever asked anyone out ever, because I was so shy. I'm not sure I would be able to ask anyone out nowadays, to be honest, although I would like to think that I would. But if you are kind and, you know, respectful about asking someone out, and they reject you meanly or they make fun of you, then that is entirely on them, because there's only so much that you can control, and if you have nothing to reproach yourself for because you were kind and respectful and you just gave yourself a shot, then you deserve to be proud of yourself, even if you don't get the result you want. And you deserve to know and to try to have a shot with the person that you're into. And I think it's tough asking people out, but you are great from what I can tell in this chat, and you deserve to give it a chance, to give yourself a chance. So I hope you do it. I mean, Alex, we should do an art, how do you say? Art share? No, that's not it. Art swap? I would, in a heartbeat, send you my stuff in exchange for your stuff. That'd be great. What am I doing? I'm not actually thinking through how I'm painting these flowers. Catherine, I don't know if you still do much with nude fic practice, but I just got a new book called The Artist Model by Postle and Vaughan, and it's amazing. It includes Go and Malwarebite pop-ups. It includes so many new model references from history. That sounds very cool. I really wish I had the money to go to more live drawing sessions. There's supposed to be some, at least before the pandemic, there was some in the pub right down the road from me. And it's really good. Like, not only was it good socially for me because it got me out there and got me meeting other artists, which is always good, but it's such good practice to do live drawing, honestly. It's so valuable. So definitely, if I had more money to attend sessions, I would do it more often. I'll check out that book, definitely. There's a magpie outside that is being very chatty. I think it's angry that you can't feed it the feeder. Lisa, that means a lot, thank you. I sometimes I wonder if I share too much of my struggles, because I think sometimes it can be a bit tiring to hear me talk about how I'm going through this art block and this crisis of self-confidence and this issue and blah blah blah. But it's the kind of thing I wish I had seen other people talk about when I was watching people on the internet when I was younger and starting to get into art, because as a result I just felt a bit lonely in those troubles when I was younger. So the idea that I'm inspiring other people to create art is one of the best compliments, genuinely. I still feel like such a noob and such an amateur in my paintings, because obviously there's a lot I don't know, and I've gotten so much better in the last few years, but I'm still not, you know, a master. And so the idea that my work is still a helpful resource to other people is really quite amazing, honestly. Yeah. Hey Linka, hey all. I was wondering if the stream will be up later so I can rewatch it completely. Yes, it will. I will leave it to upload as a normal YouTube video. Like, I don't know, if you go back on my channel, the previous one is there and it'll be the same for this one. Sorry. Alex, I've asked boys and girls out many times. If you do it with respect and kindness and a bit of confidence too, it goes well even if they refuse. I agree. Always leave the option of remaining good friends. I think that's the key, isn't it? If it feels sort of threatening, people can react a bit defensively to it. But if it feels like you would take rejection well, and like you won't hold it against them and stuff, I think usually people do respond to it quite well. Most of the time it's a compliment if someone asks you out, you know, if for most people. So yeah, I think you have a good shot. You sound like a lovely person and you deserve to give yourself that chance, and I think it could go really well, and you don't know until you try. So I will be behind you on this with all my heart, and if it goes well, I'd love to know. So if you decide to do it, very, very best of luck, and I'll keep all my fingers crossed for you. I need to blow my nose, I'm sorry, 1 second. Lisa, make your boyfriend sit for you. Yeah, that'd be really cool. Like, can you imagine how much that would be? Such a nice date. You can tell them you want to draw them, let them sit for you, get some tea, snack, you get to chat. It'd be really nice. Plus it means that you've got an activity to talk about too. It's a good idea. Catherine, yes you did! Yes you did! I knew your name resonated and made me think of something. It's wait. Yes! And it's gonna go out this week, by the way. Like, I'm so sorry for the delay on sending you that, but I needed to find like a good shipping insurance to ship that original. It's actually all packaged, it's over there, it's all ready to go. I just need to send it. You did! You're great. You have no idea how bubbly it made my heart to have that original sold. I really like it, and I'm so glad it's going to you. You did. I'm so sorry I didn't remember before, but yes, you've got release, and I love you to bits for it, Catherine. You are awesome, and I will never be able to overstate just how incredible it is to sell an original and know that it's going to a loving home. It's unparalleled as a feeling as an artist, honestly. And so it's all lovingly packaged, and it's gonna go out to you this week. It's literally in my to-do list on my journal to send it next week, because I finally figured out how I'm gonna send it and all that, so thank you. Oh my god, the Duke system, hello! Oh, it's so nice to have you. Hello, I was wondering how you were. Hello, hello, hello. Thank you for being here. Lynn Kurt, Jay, that's nice, really love your art. Will you be uploading more often again? Really missed your videos. I'm hoping to, yeah. It's difficult sometimes to upload on YouTube. I get a bit demoralised on YouTube too, because I don't get the best views nowadays, and when you spend like days on a video, it's always a bit disheartening. But I've been sort of contending with those feelings recently, and trying to really appreciate the fact that I have just a really truly wonderful audience, and just go with the flow. And I like making videos. They do take me a long time, and it's difficult to fit editing videos in sometimes, because a video will usually take me a solid week to make, which is a lot of time where I'm not making art, basically. So it's always a bit difficult to fit in making YouTube videos, but I really want to start uploading more regularly again. I would like to start uploading maybe once a month on a regular basis, and see how that goes. I have space to store footage on my computer again, finally, after months and months, so I should be able to start filming and uploading videos more often again. And I want to stream more often again too. So streaming, YouTube shorts, and more regular videos is my aim for the foreseeable future. Jasper, do you think drawing someone without them knowing and then giving it to them as a gift is cute or creepy? It can be a bit creepy. I think it depends how well you know them. If you have spoken a lot about the fact that you're an artist and you like to draw people, and they've seen your art, and it's an interaction that you've had on a regular basis, hello bird, then it can be really lovely. If you haven't, if you don't know them that well, they don't know your hobby, they don't know that you like them, you don't even have them as friends, then it can be a bit difficult. I think the suggestion of talking to them about your art and that you like them and that you'd like to paint them and make it a date could be a really good way of introducing them to it. They can be a bit delicate, yeah. That's personally why I always see these social media videos of artists who draw people on the train and then give them the image. And I would not be able to do that, because I wouldn't want that to happen to me. I would feel really awkward about knowing that someone stared at me long enough to draw me without me noticing. So I know that as a woman I'd find it a bit scary. So yeah, I don't know. It really depends how much you know them, I think. I don't know what everyone else thinks. Catherine, yeah. I'm so glad that you mentioned that, because I don't think I would have remembered where I saw your name. Sorry. But yes, I look forward to you receiving it. Hopefully it'll go well. Apple juice, yeah, basically as long as you know them, it would be really cute. But you do need to know them already a little bit, and they do need to know that you're an artist and stuff, I think. Yeah, like Alex mentions, you were always friends with them anyway. As long as they know you a little bit, I think it'd be fine. Because if they know you, they'll know that you're not stalkery or creepy. You know, you need to have a basis of, they need to understand your personality a little bit beforehand. But if they do, if you've spoken a little bit already and stuff, I think it could be a really nice gesture. I feel like I'm getting these flowers a bit wrong. Where's my reference picture? Okay. And Britta is right too. It depends on the person you wish to draw. They might find it really cute. Some people don't really understand the way artists look at things. So I know, you know, some people find nude drawing creepy because they don't understand that we don't sexualize the models. So it could be like that if they're not much of an artist themselves. If they do art themselves, they might be really excited. Like, I know if my boyfriend drew me before we met, or like a few times after we met, if I, like, once I knew that he wasn't creepy, if he drew me, I'd be really, really touched. So it does depend. You need to know them a little bit, and they need to know you a little bit too. Sharon, I have also missed your videos. Oh, thank you. Catherine, release reminded me of Tether, which is probably one of my top favourites. I just love how you paint birds. Thank you. I one day will have to get around to selling Tether, but it's so big that I'd have to sell it for quite high price, and I'm really uncomfortable with that. I shouldn't. It's silly. I should absolutely get over that. But I also don't know how to ship it. I have absolutely nothing that could ship something as big as Tether. But one day I'll have to sell it. But yeah, I really liked Release. It was. I do love painting birds, and I'm so glad it's going to you. Nick876. You're fine. There's an hour left on the stream. Streams are perfect for that. You can drop in whenever you want. So you are not late. You're perfectly on time. Apple Juice, any advice for someone who's trying to start posting on YouTube, or like any tips with filming? Honestly, if you have a good phone, film on your phone. I didn't have a good phone when I started YouTube, so I had to buy myself a good camera. But even then, I started with a pretty shitty little camera at the time, and it was fine. I think one of the good things about starting a YouTube channel is that in the beginning, you're not going to have a big audience, and you shouldn't aim to either, because in the beginning, it's all about ironing out the kinks, figuring out what works for you, if you can actually stick with it, if you want to stick with it, if you like it. So not having a good audience at the beginning is really good, because it means that you have lots of leeway to just go wrong and just experiment, screw up, try things. So I would recommend in the beginning, if you have a phone, film on your phone. And then once you figure out that you actually like it, like as an artist, I would recommend starting off with time lapses of your work. Time lapses do not do tremendously well on YouTube, but they are the easiest way to get started and get comfortable, because you can do voiceovers, and if you're not comfortable with talking on camera, voiceovers are much easier to get used to. When you do voiceovers, you get used to talking to nobody, but still acting like you are talking to people in a way that is more difficult to get away with if you're talking on camera. And yeah, they'll get your art out there. You'll have videos with your art in them. So voiceovers of your art that you filmed on your phone, and trying to settle yourself into a routine, get an idea of when you can post, how long it takes you to edit, getting to grasp with a basic editing software, all of that would be my main recommendations in the beginning. And then slowly, as your channel grows, you start knowing what to prioritize. So personally, I upgraded. My first upgrade was getting a better camera, and then after that I got better lights, and then after that I got better editing systems, editing softwares. It's slow, and it's good if it's slow. Don't worry too much about things in the beginning. Experiment, have fun, use what you have. Don't buy new things immediately. Don't out budget yourself too quickly. because you don't even know if you'll like it in the beginning. So try to start videos with stuff you already have. You know? I'm rambling again, sorry. You gotta go, Jenna. Thank you so much for joining us. Have a lovely day. Sophia, I tried drawing people in public and it's honestly so awkward for me. I dead stare a lot at my referencing in public, and that's a no-no for me. Yeah, same. I can't draw people. I get so self-conscious. I feel so bad. I completely relate to that. I don't know how, like, I think it's Bobby Chew often say that he got started by painting people in the subway, and I genuinely don't know how he did it. I would feel so bad. I think, like, I think maybe because I'm a woman, I'm hyper aware of people staring at me, and I wouldn't ever want to make anyone uncomfortable by staring at them, and I'm just not quick enough to just look at them in a quick glance and then get a drawing down on paper. So yeah, drawing people in public for me is not something I'm comfortable with. Lisa, oh my god, a guy on IG drew a picture of me and sent it to me and I was so unnerved by it. Yeah, fair enough. Fair enough. I wouldn't be anymore, because I have such a public facing platform and I have enough of a following that I think sometimes I get people who draw me, and more often than not it's done in a really respectful manner. And because I'm an artist, I know that most people who follow me are also artists, and so I understand why they drew me. So it's what we were saying earlier about context, you know. But if I wasn't that public facing, if I didn't have as big of a platform I have, if I had fewer subscribers and I didn't have a YouTube channel and all that, I would be a bit creeped out if someone just randomly drew me. But again, it's because it's someone I don't know, and I wouldn't know if they're an artist, and if they didn't know I was an artist either, it would be weird. Oh, Catherine, yeah, exactly. Use your phone. Phones are so good. This is filmed on a phone, like this camera there, right above me is a phone. And a lot of my latest YouTube videos film on my phone, even though I've got a good camera. The footage quality is just the same, honestly, at this point. Bye, the Duke system. Thank you so much for joining. I'm not entirely sure which one of you I was talking to, so I hope you're really well, and thank you for dropping in. It was really nice to even just having a quick message from you. I hope you're well. Bye, Jenna. Yeah, apple juice, phone, ring light, honestly. If it works, it works. And honestly, it's one of those things also, like, you'll get a feel for it as you go. So I didn't realise my lighting wasn't great in the beginning, but it didn't matter. Like, so long as the video was out there, it got my channel going, and I'm here now, you know. So even if the video is not perfect, it really does not matter in the beginning. Definitely experiment and take your time with it and do what's within your means. The most important thing in the beginning with a YouTube channel is to be really consistent, which is ironic of me to say now, because I'm everything but consistent at the moment with my channel. But in the beginning I was. I uploaded almost every week when I first started my YouTube channel, and I think that's why I grew, honestly. Sorry, I'm very focused on doing these petals. But consistency is the trickiest thing to stay with on YouTube. It is the most difficult thing to do. Hello, Burb. So it is the thing to focus on in the beginning, because making videos is incredibly time consuming, and consistency is the one thing that is difficult to learn and stay with. So I would personally recommend focusing on that, and not like technical materials and supplies in the beginning. Sophia, in my experience, people you don't know respond better to "this was inspired by you," but in the right context, even that can be creepy. Yeah, it's really tricky because it can absolutely not be meant as creepy and still come off as creepy because of what's involved in the concept of drawing someone, like staring at them for an extended period of time, having noticed them in the first place. It also very much depends on the person's experience with their sort of interaction in the past. Like women will probably be more easily creeped out if they're drawn by a man, or so I don't know. It's very tricky. Alex, yes, I think most people who have drawn me have asked me, which probably is why I didn't find it as creepy either. So asking is key. That's definitely true. Catherine, if you're doing art, it also really helps to invest in an overhead camera or a screen recording platform. People are like easily seeing what you're working with. Yeah, but only invest once you know it's something that is worth investing in. I wouldn't have bought my camera at the time. My camera was like £400. I wouldn't have bought it if I already didn't know I was going to be consistent with YouTube and it was going to pay me back, because otherwise I just didn't have the money to invest in that. But yes, once you decide to upgrade, getting yourself like a good tripod or a good camera is probably a good step forward. My throat hurts. Fiona, just popping back in for a second to say it's really looking beautiful. I have an exam tomorrow, so I'm just studying in the background, but I can still hear you and I'm loving the ambience. That's lovely. I love that. I feel like I'm hanging out with you guys and it's really nice. Thank you. I really like the ambience too. And good luck with your exam, by the way. I hope it goes really well. I do not miss exams. That is something I think of quite regularly. I'm 31. It's been a long time since I've had any sort of exam, and I still think about them and how I'm happy not to have any anymore. So good luck with yours. And thank you very much for the kind words. I'm glad you like the painting. It is working slowly its way through. I'm actually getting more progress on this than I thought I was. I thought I was going to really suck at this and not get any painting done, but I've done alright. Pat myself on the back for this one. Jess, it was nice hanging out here, but I have to leave right now. Oh no. Time for dinner and rest, as I'm not feeling 100% well these days. I'm very sorry to hear that. I hope you'll feel better. I hope you are being taken care of. And thank you very much for popping by and always being so wonderful and supportive. Jess, you are genuinely always just so lovely and around, and I see your comments and I appreciate you tremendously, and thank you for getting the brushes and being here, and have a wonderful, wonderful day and rest well. Until next time. Apple juice, oh my god, fellow system pog. What does that mean? I'm missing something, I think. Jasper, yeah, to be honest, like, I know that is attractive, the idea of giving them the gift as a surprise of having drawn them, but being asked is also such a compliment. Like, I think I would be personally really touched if someone asked me if they could draw me. I've had that a couple of times, and every time it's been such a kind feeling. It's so respectful to be asked, and it's such a compliment to know that the person is attracted to us in that sense aesthetically, that they think we would be worthy of a drawing. I definitely think could be a nice entryway into asking them out too, but I don't know them. You'll know them better than I, but I'd love to know how it goes if you're happy to share, obviously. Jasper, maybe he'll send some good reference. Indeed. Lisa, do you have a community of artist friends you hang out with in person? I found artist friends in short supply. I have one artist friend, and I have not seen her in over a year, and I've barely spoken to her either. So no. I have a few like online artist friends, but I don't have any real life artist friends. I have this one friend, which I'm ashamed to say I haven't kept very well in touch with. But I should go out and talk to more artists in real life. I really should. But I don't, because I'm a hermit. And I like meeting new people, you know, I like chatting to people. I mean, I'm not having any trouble chatting with you guys, but it's draining, and I shy away from it if I'm given the choice, which isn't great. I should be more sociable. It's good for creativity to meet other people and share things like that. So I should. Yeah. Scribbles NMO, the way we're all slightly traumatized by exams. I swear. Just goes to show we're approaching school kind of wrong. We really are. I really agree. Like, I was lucky to be naturally, sort of academically, I fitted in quite well, but it still traumatized me. Like, in front you get exams every week. Like, I remember having Saturday mornings was exam morning. So we'd have school Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday mornings, Thursday, Friday, and then Saturday mornings was exam morning. And I just, like, the memory of that, the stress, oh my god, every week we had 4 hours of exams on Saturday mornings. Unbearable. I don't understand how that was a thing, like, genuinely. Exaltations of an Artist. Love that name. I've missed your videos, so glad you're back. Thank you. I'm really happy to be back too. I really want to stream more. It's so much easier to stream. I am logging off my painting a little bit here. I don't know how I want to keep painting this. I'm gonna go back to the hair for a bit. Yes. Apple juice. I was just talking about the Duke system. We are a system as well. You are? Oh, wow. Thank you for sharing that. So do you know the Duke system then? I don't know. I feel like I just asked you if you're French and you know another French person. Sorry. It's a bit rude of me. But you sounded like you might know them. So that's why I asked. Thank you for sharing that. The Duke system is so lovely and so supportive. They've been a long time supporter of my work, and they are genuinely so kind, and I hope they are well. I'm gurgly again, and I'm not drinking anything. LVH author, YouTube sent me one of your videos as a suggestion. I love your style. By the way, Scott Christian Sava uses a blow dryer in between his paint layers, seems to help him speed things up. Yeah, I mean, it's good for like watercolour using a blow dryer. I do that with watercolour. I actually use a heat gun, so that way it doesn't move my paint around too much. But I don't actually need it for acrylics, thankfully. It's alright, but yeah, I will sometimes use a blow dryer to dry them. I like Christian's, what's his name again? Scott Christian Sava. I discovered him through someone who told me to look up their shorts, because he does good shorts, and he's cool. I really like his stuff. I love discovering artists like that. He's got a really good, like, peppy style in his videos too. They're really dynamic. I love it. It's great. And I'm very glad you found me. Thank you very much for being here. Exaltation of an Artist. I have one artist friend and we usually hang out on Tuesdays. That's really good. You're being a better human than I am. I avoid hanging out. I am not very, I need to be better at it. Yeah, scribbles every week. That's really good. I find sometimes a blow dryer moves the watercolour gouache too much. Any tips? Yeah, use a heat gun. Like, one that you can adjust the heat on. Because some of them do get too hot because they are meant to melt stuff. But yeah, I use a heat gun specifically because I think the hairdryer moves the paint around too much. So I can relate with that struggle. Elfrida Arts. I love my artsy friends, but when asking for advice on things to improve can be hard. Yeah, we all have different styles and thematic ideas that we sometimes argue. Yeah, I mean, critiques. I know that you're not talking about like official art school critique type style things, but you know, asking for advice and ways to improve is sort of related to critiques. But it's a skill. Being able to give people good advice about their art is a really difficult skill that not many people are good at. That includes like art school teachers and stuff. Being able to understand what a person is aiming for in their personal art and how they can better achieve their personal goals is very, very tricky. I haven't found many people who are good at it, and stuff. And between friends, it can be really difficult because you're also not art teachers, so from a personal perspective, it can be difficult to pull yourself out of what you want from your own work. So yeah, I can completely understand that. It can definitely be tricky. Oh my god, Miriam, Alex, I have artist friends in France from where I was in the comics industry, but now in the UK just have all the dark art surrealist artists I follow and who follow me back on IG. Yeah, I'm the same. I'm not good at human interactions though, Alex. You don't have to apologise for that. I feel constantly bad about the numerous art friends I've made, including you, on Insta, and how I never keep in touch with anyone. Like, I'll occasionally see your work pop up and I'll go, oh my god, I don't have any news of you, and I'll message you and ask how you are, and then fall off the face of the earth again. And I'm sorry. I think part of it is like, because I have to keep up with social media so much, it feels like social interaction, and so I just find it difficult to muster the energy to keep going with normal social interactions outside of that. Social media really does exhaust me in a lot of ways, which is frustrating. So yeah, I can relate, and you don't have to apologise for anything. If anything, I should apologise too. Highlights. You don't have to apologise, yeah. Britta May, I feel this right in my guts. I have problems with people draining, yeah. When meeting others, even good friends, yeah. Just going out, meeting, being asked things and listening, searching for the right words. Yeah, I genuinely enjoy meeting new people. I don't have any issues talking to new people, but I go home and I'm knackered. I get so tired after a few hours of social interaction. Thankfully, both my boyfriend and I are like that, so we understand each other, and we know that sometimes we don't want to chat, or we're able to hang out together quite well, even when we just want to be a bit alone and quiet, which is nice. But yeah, I'm the same. It's very odd, that introversion thing. Lisa Ganchard, my one artist friend insists I'm better than he is. Not true, lol. So he doesn't give me any criticism, and it drives me nuts. Yeah, well, criticism, it comes from also a place of self-confidence. You know, you have to feel like you've got a valid opinion, and a lot of us artists are not very good at validating ourselves and feeling like our opinion is worthy of being said. And also, there's this weird misconception that you need to be good at something in order to be a good critique of it. You don't. Like, you know, restaurant critiques and art critiques aren't necessarily artists or chefs. You can have a valid opinion about something without being an expert at doing it. But it is. Yeah, I understand your friend, and I understand your your frustration about that too. LVH author. IVH or LVH author? You're very welcome. I'm an author, aspiring illustrator. It's been great getting different perspective on art from the artists on this platform. It's definitely helped me with my own work. Same. I think the internet is really great in that way. There's lots to be said about the internet and how exhausting it can be, but it's also, I think, as an artist, it's exposed me to way more resources and useful information and just helpful things than if I was just supposed to base myself on just books. And there's a lot of people who are so willing and kind with the information they share and so generous with their time. And YouTube has made it possible for people to do that with AdSense and sponsorships and partner programs and things. So as much as there's a lot that I can criticize YouTube for, I think the fact that they've allowed so many of us to be able to survive off of creating free content is so tremendous. It's really helped further the community and help people access art resources more easily and create their own things more easily and feel like they were able to do those things and capable and valid, and I think that's great. Scribbles, I've got to go soon, but it was so nice hanging out and chatting. Yes, it was. I'm very thankful for you joining. Thank you very much. It was really, really lovely. And I hope you'll have a really wonderful rest of your day. Thank you very much for being here, Scribbles. You're always really supportive too, and I appreciate it a lot. Linc, did you plan to make drawing this in your style as this kind of challenge? I've done some in the past. I haven't done one in a long time. Yeah, if that's something that you guys would want, definitely. They're always fun. They always take a lot of time to organise, unfortunately, so I think that's why I haven't done one. I've just found it difficult to find the time to do anything these days. Everything takes so much time. But yeah, if that's something that people would be interested in doing again, then definitely. I think they always go really well, and people always create really cool pieces inspired by my work, and yeah. That's pretty much the answer to that. Alex, Miriam, yes, find me someone who says what I feel exactly. It's all tiring and social media is already a lot. Social media is so much. I'm also autistic, so I guess it adds a layer of awkward. Yeah, I don't think I'm autistic, but I'm definitely neurodivergent in some way or another. And social media is so draining. It's wonderful, like everyone, I'm lucky, like my communities are so lovely. But you know, it still feels like social interactions to some extent, and so I do get drained very quickly, and I think that does affect my relationship to my friends and family. It does mean that I struggle a little bit to keep in touch as much as I should with the real life people I have, that I should be contacting and talking with more, which is unfortunate. I do need to tackle that. But yeah, I can relate. Apple Juice, personally I find some of my non-artist friends give the best critique just because they are unbiased and can point out like anatomy stuff that's a bit funky. Yeah, entirely. That's very true. Completely agree. Completely agree. Ivy is short for Ivy. Ah, that makes sense. So IVH. IVH author. Is that how I pronounce it? Catherine Pearson, you mentioned you like luminosity in your work. Are you planning on incorporating that here? If so, I think the eyes would be super cool light source. I probably won't incorporate it in this here just because my values are quite light so far. So I didn't think it would work because I want to keep everything quite light. But yeah, having the eyes be a source of light would be really nice on this. If I was to paint it slightly differently, I would probably go that route. I think I agree. That'd be quite cool. Sorry. I do want the eyes to be blind, I think. I wonder if they could be yellow. Maybe that could bring a bit of luminosity in it. I don't know. But yeah, I like that suggestion, Catherine. I think if I was to take the piece in a slightly different direction, if I was to repaint it, I would probably go about it the way you just mentioned. It's a good idea. So, wonky nose. Background part, I get that. My mum has been my most useful critique. Even art friends on my own level are just supportive, but don't really point out mistakes or anything. Yeah, I mean, it's being able to critique something is very tricky. It really is. I think a good critique is rare and incredibly valuable. Some art teachers are incredibly good at it, but most in the stories I've heard are not. It's an entire skill. Honestly, it goes with being good at teaching and forwarding knowledge. That's not what I want to say. Passing on knowledge. Being able to deconstruct something enough and step away from it enough that you understand how to critique it is really tricky. Catherine, I like the blind look. You could also make them like a pearl coloured. Yeah, it's pretty much where I was gonna go with it. Exactly, like with a little bit of dark blue, have a little bit of a shadow. Actually, let's try and work on them now. Use my teeny brush. Brush do I want to use for that? I think maybe the one I was using right now is still the good one to use. Woo! Let's see. Gosh, a lot of this paint is still not dry. It's so good. Let's see. Is my head in the way? Yeah. Sorry, I've shut up because I'm suddenly concentrating really hard. Lime green might be a good contrast for the eyes too. It would. My main objection to that is cowardice. I would be terrified of using lime green, and I don't want to step too far outside of my comfort zone doing a stream because I'm already struggling enough as it is to try to paint while I talk. So it is a nice suggestion, but that would be too brave of a color choice for me right now. Okay, the critic thing is interesting. I've always been super awkward about my family and non-artist friends seeing my art because I'm terrified of them judging me. Yeah, I agree with that. I've always been really scared of being judged for my art, especially because, I mean, if you've seen my art, Jesus. If people aren't prepared, it can be a bit strange for them. But I'm lucky to have a supportive family. Something that I could use now that I've never really had is like a critique environment. I don't want that to be the internet because people are not good at that on the internet, but I would love to have a circle of artist friends that is all sort of focused towards improvement and therefore can critique each other. But it is terrifying, and I think it's something that the ego needs to be able to handle because it's a very difficult thing to be open to. I understand being terrified of it. I don't think they would judge your work. Well, I don't know actually because I don't know your family, so I can't talk for you, and you might have legitimate fears. But if you think that you are mistaken in thinking that they would judge your work, then I would encourage you to show your art to the people you love, because there's nothing quite as energizing as being properly supported and encouraged by the people you love, and it can really help with just moving forward with your work. Elfrieda, I find being able to give good critiques involves both knowing the person and how they take critique, and also knowing the medium enough to understand the work and see what they've done entirely. So it takes so much. It takes knowing what the intention the person had was. It takes knowing what they want to achieve with their work. It takes a lot of listening and a lot of personal and intimate knowledge about that person's hopes and goals and intentions. I fully agree, which is why the internet isn't very good at critiques, I think, partially. But yeah, I very much agree with that. Definitely. Have you ever used modelling paste? I have not. I have some, I think. I found that you can use it under watercolour and it's so cool for flowers and other things like a central body figure. I use it in my uni final and it was so fun. How did you use it? I'd love to hear how you used it. Like, what effect did you achieve? I always found it really intimidating. I love seeing other people work with modelling paste. I've seen like an artist on TikTok that I think I'm subscribed to. She does like almost sculptures basically with modelling paste. It's very cool. I found that medium quite intimidating, and I like subtle washes a bit too much to, I think, enjoy modelling paste too extensively in my work. But I do think it's a fascinating thing, and I love watching other people use it. I'd love to hear what you used it like how you used it in your what did you say, it was an exam? Uni final. Yeah, I'd love to know what you did. That sounds really cool. I love my family, Millie B. I love my family as they are really supportive of my art, and as my mum is an artist, it helps to be open towards her. It's so good. I'm so glad for you. Like, it's such an amazing privilege. Like, I'm the same. My family was so incredibly supportive, is incredibly supportive and incredibly kind and lovely, and my dad is quite creative. My stepmom is an amazing watercolor artist. It's so cool. I'm so glad that you have a supportive environment. It's so important, and I think creativity is one of those things. It's a tragedy when it's stifled, honestly, by people not being understanding and supportive of people who like to be creative. It's soul crushing, because if you're creative, it's such a big part of you. It's such an important key thing in most people. If they are even a tiny bit creative, it means something to them, and to have that crushed is heartbreaking. And I think everyone who has any creative bone and any desire to pursue it deserves the support of the people they love. I mean, anyone deserves the support of those they love, obviously, but there's something tragic about creativity being stifled if not encouraged in a loving environment. Oshada, hi. Sri Lanka, amazing. Hello. That's so cool. You guys, Brazil, New Zealand, Sri Lanka, the USA, Canada. Lots of people from everywhere. I love it so much. It's so cool. Wandering Journey Arts, lol. Lime green is a big jump, which is probably why I use it a lot. That and magenta. It's so brave. And I paint biomechanical space sea animals. That makes sense. Those are colours I would choose for that too. That's really cool. I love that. It's amazing. Sophia Lima. Interesting. I'm the look what I made baby. That's amazing. That's so good. Specifically with family, I always go for them for critique too. My brother's the best there, where he can be really blunt. That's awesome. I love to hear that so much. That's so cool. Nothing makes me happier than to hear that someone is confident in their creativity and has a loving environment around them that is supporting them in their ventures and makes them feel like they can be heard and seen, and that's awesome. I love it. I always agree. I've had a supportive family, but I've always still been quite shy with my work. I think I was less shy when I was younger. Now I'm quite shy with my work, I think, because I mean, my work has always been niche, but it's particularly niche nowadays. So I always warn people when they ask me what kind of artist I am, and was like, I make weird things. I'm okay with that though. I like this paper. This is my first time painting on this paper, and I really like how it's behaving. Catherine Pearson. I applied it with a palette knife. It was a huge painting, and I sculpted out the body to create a broken statue effect. That's really cool. The watercolour sat super lightly on top, which you might like. So by watercolour, like, did you use watercolour ground, or was it just like just acrylic, like sculpting medium? Because I've got some acrylic ground that's supposed to be able to be applied to like a canvas, I think, and then you can paint with watercolour on there. Is it that you're referring to, or is it like a proper, the acrylic modelling paste? Because I thought that wasn't absorbent, so I thought you wouldn't be able to paint with watercolour on top. But I might be wrong, obviously. I don't know anything about it. This is really cool. I love it. Jasper, I think I'm best at giving critique when it comes to shapes and composition, probably because I've been doing a lot of photography lately, although I'm horrible at taking my own advice out or not. Yeah, I think that's common. I'm terrible at taking my own advice. And yeah, I mean, some people will be better at seeing certain things than others. Your skills will be in different things. Being able to give critique in one area is just as good. Ravina, I have to leave now. Thank you so much for coming. I really, really appreciate it. I'm glad you like the painting, and I'll make sure to share the results in a short soon. Catherine, I'll DM you the painting if you'd like. Yes, absolutely. I would love to see it. It sounds really cool. And you just played around. Yeah, it's pretty much honestly how I recommend doing those things. Just if you can, play around. It's the best way to be creative, honestly. Linka, I really love to draw by now, but when I was younger my parents told me that there are things you need talent for, and if you don't have talent you won't be able to learn it. It stopped drawing until I was like 20, and even then struggled to get a healthy mindset on learning to draw. Yeah, unfortunately it's a common mindset with art that you need talent to be good at it, and that without talent you won't get anywhere with it. It's such a pity. It's such a pity. It's a whole discussion in itself, honestly, and it's a complicated discussion with valuable points. I think talent, I'm not someone who thinks talent doesn't exist. I do think talent is a thing. I just don't think it's everything. I think talent might be the thing that makes you stick to something more easily in the beginning when it's difficult, but skill is the thing that will get you anywhere. And skill has nothing to do with talent. Skill has everything to do with determination and patience and will and time and practice. And skill can absolutely outrun talent any day. It's the one thing is you need is patience and determination. Talent holds no candle to just building skill, honestly. So it can get you started in the beginning and it can make it easier to stick with something, but it is not what determines a person's success at all, I don't think, personally. So yeah, I've heard a lot of that, you don't have the talent to draw, or you won't get anywhere if you don't have the talent. It's not true, and it makes me sad that people think they are untalented and therefore can't do something, because also being good at something isn't necessary. You don't have to be good at something. That doesn't make something more worth it. You can be absolutely terrible at something and still find joy and fulfillment in it, and be able to do it for yourself, and that's good enough, And yeah, so I'm so sorry. I'm glad you picked it up again though, and I hope you're enjoying it now. When I made the first better drawings, they were like, oh, you're so talented, and it was so frustrating. Now I work for it and they behave like I was just gifted. Yeah. Yeah. That's the common thing, isn't it? Oh, you're so talented. Like, well, worked on it for a long time. Let's not diminish that. I think it's something that people find reassuring also, this idea of talent, because it's reassuring to think that the person is where they are because they are talented, because that means that you had no shot, that it's not because you didn't try, it's just because you just didn't have it in you. And so I think a lot of people find it comforting, because it means that they don't have to try, because there's no chance of them having wasted an opportunity, if that makes sense. Which might be a bit hard for me to say, but sometimes I think people feel like it helps them avoid regretting something. I don't know. Alex, oh Miriam, you would have loved the olden times of art forums from the early O's, both French and English. They were really renowned, and people made friends, business projects, and even relationships. Yeah, I used to be on DeviantArt when I was young, and but I was an introvert back then, and forums were terrifying. So yeah, I remember forums as being quite a good platform, but I was quite shy and young and didn't really use them. Catherine, I use Liquitex Professional acrylic mediums. Flexible modelling paste and then painted on top with Daniel Smith watercolour. Oh, I see. And it worked. The watercolour stuck to it. That's awesome. That's really cool. I love that idea. People were respectful and constructive and all dedicated to becoming good artists, not just famous on the internet. Yeah, I think it's something that's gotten lost a little bit now, hasn't it? There was something a bit more wholesome about art forums back then. It's a bit of a pity how the internet has turned into this way of just monetizing everything, and also followers and all that has become so much more important in people's minds, and it's a way to validate what you do and stuff. It's a bit sad. I think it's pernicious too. Old person rant over. I'm becoming like that too. Like, I'm only 31 and I'm just like, in my days, things were different. But the thing is, I don't know if they really were, in all honesty. Or if I just was exposed to them differently or had a different kind of eye on them, was less critical of things, didn't realise the underlying currents as much or something, I don't know. But it felt like they were a bit more supportive and less trolly. I don't know. Again, it might just be like the old person in me talking. Catherine, but I used the modding paste straight before doing the watercolours once it was dry. Oh, I see. DM'd me the piece. Oh, I'll look at it later. I think it's bad form on my phone, isn't it? I'll let you know when I look at it. Thank you for sending it. Linker, it helps to let them think it's not their fault. Yeah, sort of. Yeah, exactly. It helps to feel like you didn't have any control over it, and therefore you couldn't have achieved it anyway. Like, it was beyond you, beyond your control. Yeah, I think it's partially that too. I agree. I love these flat brushes so much. I need to do that, because that should be darker. About the talent thing, the opposite is crushing too. I was told I was talented since a young child, and so people put a lot of pressure on me, and I kept quitting, coming back and feeling like a failure. Yeah, I had that sort of gifted child discourse around me a lot. Not so much from my like direct family, parents and stuff, but like surrounding family, because I was an only child for a long time until my brothers came along, and so I think there was a lot of was the only kid in my mum's side of the family at that point. All the children had grown up and all that, so I had a lot of expectations put on me too, and it definitely was quite like, it messed me up later on. It made me very, very unable to deal with failure for a long time. Much better at it now. I think it comes with maturing as an adult to realise that everyone fails at something. But as a kid, when you're constantly told that you're good at everything, if you fail, you feel like your whole worth has gone out of the window. It's really bad. Wandering Journey, I respond to the talented comments by saying thank you, I worked really hard for it. Yeah, same. It's a good line, I like it. work really hard for my talent. I think people really do mean well when they tell people that they think they're talented. I never like get angry at it or anything, because I don't think people mean it as a dismissive sentence towards my hard work, you know? But it does break my heart, because I always wonder if they think that they can't do what I do or whatever they've admired in me because they're not talented. I don't want people to feel like there's something inherently wrong with them, and that's why they can achieve a similar thing. Everyone has lots of potential in them and deserves to know it. Yes, they were more nuanced and supportive and less fame obsessed. I was moderator in the biggest French forum for ages. But oh my god, so racist, sexist and homophobic. Yeah, I think that's the thing, isn't it? Yeah, it was, you know, pros and cons. I think the internet back when you couldn't quite make it as big as you can these days was less focused on that, but it was still sorry, fairly insular communities, and it was very tricky. You still could walk on egos. Oh, I can't stop coughing. It's because I'm not drinking enough. I'm gonna go soon, guys. It's nearly 6 o'clock. Oh, I should have drunk more for this stream. My throat is parched. Oh. I'll make a short when I finish this little painting. I think I've said that before in the stream of the night, but I'll confirm it now. I'll make a little short and I'll post it on Insta and TikTok and stuff, so you guys can see where this piece ends up. I reckon it will be the print for patrons in July. Actually, the art for the box, this painting here, this painting here will be the print for my patrons for this month, June. If you want to sign up for that before the end of June, you can get it as a print. But I'll probably also add it to my shop. I'll also add the original to my shop this week, if you're interested in getting the original art for my brush box. I love this paper. This is a good paper. Still haven't figured out how I want to paint those brambles. And I have not painted those fingers like blades, because I forgot I wanted to do that. I can paint that over though. Pretty sure I can fix that at some point. I'll just need to be able to focus on it for a longer period of time. Ooh! Did I miss a bunch of comments? Watching the stream while painting has been so therapeutic. Oh, thank you! I get, you know, social anxiety. I have social anxiety, quite a lot of it. And I love streaming. It's really fun. And I think you guys are really super wonderful and have kept me really entertained and happy. But I'm going to stop this stream and I am going to go over everything I've said and wonder if I came across as the worst person on earth. Because that's what happens every time I talk to anyone. So you guys confirming that you had a good time is really lovely and reassures me quite a lot. Thank you very much. Oh no, I overlapped on that finger, that's gone. Not what I wanted. How dark do I want to go on that hair? Because I quite like the lines on that hair. I don't know. A lot of the early internet was very problematic. Yeah, I mean, it is still very problematic. There's some very, 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 very extremely problematic parts of the internet. I think the internet has definitely always and pretty much always will be very problematic because it allows for very insular areas. It allows for echo chambers so easily. It allows people to find to refuse to challenge their viewpoints very easily. You can find similar-minded people and refuse to interact with anyone else very easily. It's a difficult place. Like, the internet is amazing in a lot of ways and absolutely terrifying in many other ways. And I don't think it's changed, you know? I don't think it's gotten better. I think it's probably gotten a bit worse the more people are on it. But both sides of it have gotten, you know, better and worse. It's a strange place, the internet. To me, it feels like an entirely other dimension, parallel to ours, you know? It's very strange. Vivienne art. It's also discouraging when you post a drawing you're proud of and work 10 hours on it. It'll get very few likes compared to a failed quick sketch you don't like at all that gets 5 times more likes. Universal artist experience. It's absolutely uncanny. I don't know why, but you'll work on something, you're really proud of it, you spend so much time on it, and then it has no... I don't know why. It's very odd, but every artist relates to that, I think. It's very common. Sophia, can't wait to see this piece done. I hope you'll like it. I hope I'll finish it one day to probably paint more on it next week and try and finish it then. Millie B, I didn't realise the time and we were in the same time zone. We are in the same time zone and I was like, really? It's nearly 6. Did not realise that. Neither did I. I think it's because it's really light outside too, so it feels not as late as it is. What paper am I using? I'm using, I'll show you again because I think I should have put it in the description. I'm using Hahnemühle. Is that how you pronounce it? I don't know. Aquarelle watercolour paper, 425 GSM, which is nice and thick, which is wonderful. And I think it's not quite hot press, so it's not, is it hot press? Not quite, it's still got a little bit of a texture to it, but it is pretty smooth as far as watercolour paper goes. It's really nice. I really like it. It's my first time painting on it. I got it at like a discount a year or so back. It was good. Alex, by the way, I really like the colours of this. Reminds me of the pieces you made for the box, but like a distant dream of it. Yeah, you can definitely feel my style coming through. And I sort of wanted that. I wanted a slight echo, so I wanted a piece that had stuff growing out of the face. I didn't go quite as red as this for the cut for these. For the... Ooh, I glitched out. Flowers. I might do though. I think I might want them to be a bit more vibrant. A bit like this. But you can definitely see my style come out in the way I paint skin. It's quite funny. Yeah, I wanted something that echoed the box a little bit since I was painting it with my lovely brushes. Actually, bring them closer. Because the stream is supposed to be about them, isn't it? I can confirm you are not the worst person in the world. Thank you. That's reassuring. How much is the brush set, Catherine? The brush set is $60. I have no idea how much that is in pounds. No idea how much that is in pounds. I think it was like £47. I'm not sure. I get lost with conversion rates. Exhortations of an artist. There's an art piece I've been planning for a while, but finding the time to do it is frustrating. Yes, I heavily relate to that. Heavily. This year I've made a conscious effort to try and do art in the morning first thing, because otherwise admin just takes over everything. Like running Patreons, my Patreon, doing YouTube videos, doing TikTok videos, doing Instagram posts, doing Twitter posts, doing stuff on my website, packing orders, sending things, just general maintenance of all my admin. The time it takes is out of this world. And sometime last year I realised that it was just overtaking me because I felt like it was always the most important thing to tick off my to-do list. And I never really realised that I should put art on the same level. Like, art is one of those tasks that needs to be part of my to-do list, but I never did. It was always I never prioritized it, and I need to. So now in the morning I try to make art as much as I can every day, morning session art, because that's what my job is, and I lost track of that a little bit. So yeah, I know time to find art is difficult, particularly because it's difficult to do art when you're not in the right mindset. It's one of these tasks that I find difficult to do just for 10 minutes, for example, you know. It takes me a while to get started, so it's difficult to fit it in. Ivy, oh my god, I can relate. I second guess everything I say after the fact. Yeah, you're lovely and an awesome artist. It's been great watching your work and talk about art and life. Thank you. It's really reassuring, genuinely. Like, thank you. That spot is taken by someone else. Yeah, several someone else's. So many of them out there. Yeah, but there's also so many great people. So many great people. It's so sad that they're overshadowed by a few absolutely terrible people, isn't it? But there really are so many really, really good people out there. Catherine Pearson, I think once you fill in the branch, you'll know if the hair needs to be darker. Yeah, I agree. Right now the piece feels balanced, and also the background will help environmental space determine value most of the time. Yeah, I agree. Definitely. I think there's some elements of this painting I'm gonna have to like not be talking to be able to paint and figure out. So I definitely will need to finish this off stream. But I'm actually amazed by how much I did manage to paint on stream. I did not expect myself to be able to paint this much of it on stream. I thought I was going to struggle more, but it was good. It's been wonderful and absolutely made my day. I have to say goodbye, but no, you've been fantastic. Thank you, Lisa. Thank you. Thank you. You guys are great. I don't know. Thank you. I appreciate you tremendously, and I'm really, really thankful, and I can't say it enough, and I know I get all soppy, but I really mean it. Amens are hello. If you're just joining, the stream is going to end very, very soon, but thank you for popping by and saying hi. I will have more streams, so do make sure you come by for the next ones. Alex Hannemuller. Really? Read it with a French accent. Anna, that's not how my German brain pronounces that. I'm sorry. You would absolutely know that better than I do. I'm very sorry. I will research how to pronounce it properly. Like, Google it at some point. Because I've never had to say it out loud, you know? So I'm not surprised I've struggled with that. Sorry. Sea Brackens, this was such a pleasant and refreshing experience. I'm grateful for this space, the content, the energy. Thank you. Well, you guys are part of it and have made this the atmosphere that it is, and you've created a space in which I felt really comfortable and felt chatty, and you had such great input and comments and questions, and I never felt like it was awkward or for me or anything. I felt like I was genuinely talking to people, which is really key in a live stream. And I also felt so comfortable I was able to paint this much of it, you know? Like, I would need an environment in which I feel comfortable and relaxed, and you guys provided that, and you're great, basically, is what I'm trying to say. Sophia, I love the piece no matter what. I've been here since 2017. Wow! And there's not a piece sketch of yours I don't like. Oh, Jesus. Sorry, 1 second. My neighbour has a big van that they have to drive around every day, or the battery dies. And so... loud. Sophia, that means the world? Oh my god. That's such a nice thing to say. You've been with me, you're an OG. 2017 is when it all kicked off for me, and wow, thank you for being around. I really appreciate that. Rat Grandpa, thanks for the stream. I always enjoy hearing you talk. Very soothing presence. It was nice drawing along while I'm sitting in bed with a sprained ankle. Oh no! How did you do that? Oh, I'm sorry. But thank you for coming. I really enjoyed your presence too. I love your username. It makes me laugh every time it comes up. And I'm really, really glad you enjoyed it. And I really take good care of that ankle. Damn. Okay, it's 2 a.m. here. Love you so much, Miriam. Please take care. Oh my god, thank you for joining the stream so late. I appreciate that a lot. I hope to have like a stream that isn't at 2 a.m. for you one day. Thank you for being here and for the lovely, lovely words. Alex, for English speaking peeps. Hannah Mueller. For some reason, I managed to read that better in my head than the other one. I think I've been in England too long. Oh my god. I literally just read that and couldn't register what language I said that in. That was very weird. The M is a bit like the in Dune. Mew. Hannah Mueller. Like very narrow. Ooh, very French and German sound. That's cool. I'm not good at phonetics. I would like to learn phonetics one day. Millie B, thank you for this stream. It has been lovely and wonderful. Made my day. Made my day too. Thank you very much for joining it. It's been a pleasure to have you too. Apple Juice, I had such fun tuning in. I'll have to catch the next stream you do. I hope you do. You were so wonderful. Thank you so much for all your comments and keeping the conversation going. And you were all so great. All of you, even those of you who might be watching and didn't write anything, I appreciate you tremendously too. Like, genuinely, I would be like that on a stream. I don't talk very much if I watch live streams, and it means the world that you're here watching, so I hope you're well too. Alex, you are super lovely. Thank you for joining this yet another stream. You're so supportive and wonderful. Thank you. Wandering Journey Arts, same. Laurie, We Arts, thank you so much for the stream and for everything you do. I'm one of the humans that watches and rewatches your videos over and over again. Oh my god, you are amazing. They always get me out of the dark and make me want to art. Ew. That means the world. It really does. Like I don't know. I get self-conscious about my videos on YouTube sometimes because they don't perform, you know, as well as other people's. So, thank you. And Jasper, thank you so much for the stream. It was really nice. Thank you, Jasper. You were super great. It was so nice to interact with you. I hope it goes well for you. Let me know. No, don't let me know. It's your private life. You don't have to let me know anything. But thank you for asking advice and being really wonderful. It's been lovely interacting with you too. Bethany Colleen. Hi, Bethany. I didn't realise you were here. So nice to read you. I've so enjoyed listening to you in this stream and watching the brush set in action. My boyfriend bought me one of the brush set this morning for an early birthday present. Happy early birthday! And no, when people tell me that my stuff is being bought for someone for a present, it always blows my mind because that's such a compliment. Thank you. Catherine, it was so fun seeing the growth in 2017. Thank you. I've come quite a bit of a way since 2017, haven't I? It's quite nice looking back on it and seeing where it's all gone from. I found you right before your first Inktober and then fell in love with your work during the Inktober month, and I've been ever since. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. You've been really great, by the way, Catherine. Thank you for all your support. You're genuinely so kind. All of you are. Oh my god. Rat Grandpa, very thematically I tripped walking down the steps on figure drawing. Yeah, I suppose free vacation is right. Oh my god. See, life drawing is good for the art, bad for the health, apparently. So take care of that ankle. That's why I don't go anywhere. That way I don't risk anything, ever. That's what I tell myself, at least, you know. Slime 107, that's me, the silent audience. I've watched the well, not anymore. I thoroughly enjoyed being here watching you work. I'm so glad, and thank you for chiming in at the end. I appreciate you tremendously. All of you who feel like you don't want to talk are great too, and I relate to you very much. So thank you for being here. I do see the numbers, and you do matter quite a lot. Sophia, I also love this community, a lot of very kind and helpful people. Yeah, I genuinely am very grateful to my audience. You guys, I don't think I've just always had so many great people commenting, and just, I don't know, really lucky to have you guys, so thank you. You make being on the internet really great, which is not always a given. Exaltations of an artist, you're one of the reasons I started painting in gouache. That's so cool! I love the tutorial videos. I haven't painted in gouache in too long. I need to pick it up again. I like it for outdoor painting, and I want to go outdoors more. I need to do more James Gurney style outdoor paintings. Well, as in learning from him, not like anywhere. I can't achieve what he does. He's too amazing, but he's such a great teacher, and he makes me want to go outdoors and paint live more. And I need to do that more and use gouache again, was the point of what I was saying. Anyway, I need to go because it is getting late and I haven't had lunch. I've had half a donut. It's not good. But I'm gonna go and have dinner, and I'll plan another stream at some point. I need to find a schedule. I said that last time, 2 months ago. Still haven't figured that out, but I'm getting back into the swing of things, doing videos, live streams, shorts, all of that, and there'll be more. And you guys made live streaming so fun and nice. Thank you for all of those of you who got a brush set. You're tremendous, and you really, really helped me. And if you can't get a brush set, you also do help me just by being kind and here and watching. And you're all great, basically. Thank you for being here and making my Sunday a lovely day. I'll show you what this becomes, and I hope that you all have a lovely, lovely day, evening, week, and everything after that. And I'll see you soon, hopefully, for more content. Elfrida, thank you so much. Oh, your comments are so nice. Oh, you got some of my prints for Christmas and LINC. Oh, you guys are great. I find saying goodbye very difficult, so I'm gonna end the stream here. I'm sorry if I end it in the middle of your comment. I didn't mean to be mean, but otherwise I'm just gonna keep blabbing on for the rest of the evening and forget to eat, and I need to eat something. So I'll see you very soon for the next video, and thank you again to all of you, and have a lovely, lovely day. Bye!